going to
a whole other podcast.
for real?
Black boy, so you can do it.
Yeah.
Shit.
God. We are live. Cool.
Just leave it over there. Wow, you don't need both of them over there.
Yeah, have his own. Okay, God. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Praise Yahweh. Here with Blackbeard, HOI Chicago.
The elusive
one. You're like, what the hell?
Oh, that's Anwar Party elusive.
Oh yeah, Anwar Party, right? That man got
now you see me, now you don't.
Right, literally. You know. By the Gracie, how about Shemel Shai? Hopefully, brothers and sisters had a beautiful Passover, grand opening, grand closing, right? Grand opening and grand closing. Now, for those that haven't made the Passover, make a Passover that's coming up for the respective different camps and everything. Okay, cuz is that Don Yalla? Good. Shalom, shalom, shalom. So we are chilling, man. Chilling like villains, right? For the spirit of how about Shemel Shai. Man, it's crazy. So, ladies and gentlemen, first off, if y'all don't got this book right here is called A Holiday Hustle by an Israelite elder, was of one of the One West, Elder Zaquan, right? Yeah.
I don't know if that light on the camera is causing a blur on it.
Yeah. I think. All right. So this is called A Holiday Hustle, Frank Saquon Jordan. Right. So this is the elder right here, Frank Saquon Jordan. And also we'll touch on this book right here for the Easter Bash, right? And we'll also touch on this book right here, The Two Babylons, right? The Two Babylons. And the author is Alexander Hislop. Time. We can see it. But it's The Two Babylons by Alexander Hislop. All right. So, all praise Yahweh Shemel Shah once again. The water to you, brothers and sisters, those that's able to tune into the live, better late than never. It's not how we start, it's how we finish. Right? Beautiful Passover that we had in Chicago, opening and closing. A lot of spiritual things that was going on, through the spirit how about Shemel Shai. And it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful, man. Every day was the test, every day was the trial. And the silver garments, what was it? Gray, silver, and black, right? Like the Raiders colors or something. But like silver and gold, man. Gold is tried in the fire, same as with silver, man. It still shines. So we are here tonight for an Easter bash. Easter bash. You know how they say with the sipping the tea? Boy, we gonna spill the tea tonight, boy. We are here for Easter bash. So let's start off with this. You want to say it?
Kick in,
oh yeah, cut. Oh yeah, timing is everything. Don't worry. Got Blackbeard in the cut like Popeye. Timing is everything. All right. So the good thing about this, I can share my screen. So I'm gonna share my screen with this. Because we're gonna get into it. And it's lucky for the other videos, with the technical difficulties and everything. We were just breaking it in. And, Lord willing, we'll come back with so many more. You never know, we might have HOI Chicago, the Pogos. That'll be lit, man. That's you right there. StreamYard.
Yeah, Pogo walk.
God. Right? So all praises, like Elder Torah says. So I want to share my screen. Yeah. It's gonna switch to that. Yeah. God. So all praise to how about Shemel was shy. Let's get into it. So we talking about Easter, right? But oh yeah, you talking like which one like this? Or not? This one right here. Yeah,
You will do it. You can see yourself.
calm.
While they're still sharing the screen.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to show it now.
Yeah, that's it.
So we talking about Easter, and I always want to start with the origins pertaining to like the characters, right? So people talk about Easter. They'll talk about Ishtar. They'll talk about Astarte. Some even try to talk about Diana, Ephesus, and they'll try to mix it in and commingle it, right? But let's get Jeremiah chapter. Let's get Romans 15 and verse 4 first.
The book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse number 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
Right. So whatever's written aforetime is written for our learning. Now let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. Right? History is very important. When you understand the beginning of somebody's origin or their stories, you can actually tie in together the sequence. You can tie in together the history of how things change, right? How they'll take a certain person or a name and they'll repackage it, give it a certain name, but it still has the same characteristics.
Call it again.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. It still has the same characteristics, right? It just has a different name, right? So we're gonna touch on Easter, right? And like Kada says, beat your behind with the Bible that God watching. Sometimes you gotta pop up and show these things. Come.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 9. The thing that had been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
Right. So Easter is nothing new. Right? Ishtar, if y'all see on the screen, I'm showing y'all. This is what they call the Trinity. Right? The original Trinity. And look, Ishtar, she was Nimrod's wife. Now, you gotta ask, where you gonna find Nimrod at? There's nothing new under the sun. Right? Let's get Genesis chapter 10. Where are you gonna find Mr. Nimrod? Right? Where are you gonna find this hunter? This damn demon, devil, wicked bastard.
What was the first book you called? Romans?
Romans 15 and 4. All right. And then Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. Genesis. So where are you going to find Nimrod? Let's get Genesis chapter 10 and let's get verse number 8.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 10 and verse number 8. And Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord.
Right. So Cush begot Nimrod. He became a mighty hunter throughout the earth. And he was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Now, what is funny about Nimrod? Let's look up what the name Nimrod means. Because everything's going to tie together, right? It's all going to make sense. Right? So Nimrod, if y'all can see the screen, it says he was a skillful hunter. There we go. Name means. What does his name mean? So Nimrod, if you look at it, it says his name also means in ancient Hebrew Semitic cultures, it comes from the root meaning to rebel. Right? So the name Nimrod means to rebel. Now, who is Nimrod rebelling against? Yahweh Shem, God. Right? Remember, Nimrod is a Cushite. He's a Hamite. He's not an Israelite. Right? So same as with the heathens, their nature is always to rebel against the righteous, always to rebel against God, always to rebel against the children of God. Right? So even the meaning of Nimrod name means to rebel. So part of him rebelling is they created a culture of incest. What was that incest? Nimrod slept with his mother. Right? Semiramis. And that's in the law. You're not supposed to be, that's in Leviticus. You ain't supposed to be sleeping with your own mother or your sister, right? But when Nimrod sleeping with Semiramis, what happened? That is speaking about paganism. That is speaking about adultery. That is speaking about wickedness, right? So Nimrod means to rebel. So what happens now? Let's go back to Facebook. Okay, so Genesis chapter 10 is speaking about Nimrod as a mighty hunter, right? And it says God seen him as a mighty hunter, but he was rebelling against the Lord. How did he rebel against the Lord? In Genesis chapter 10, it speaks about from 10 in verse chapter 11, it speaks about him building a tower, right? The Babylonian, the Tower of Babylon, as they would call it, or the Tower of Babel, right? Babel. And the word Babel means to confuse, confusion, right? That's why the Lord had to confuse their languages and separate all of the nations that came together under Nimrod. Now, what did Nimrod do? If you see in the picture, it shows it. Nimrod, right? Let's get
It's like
yeah.
and you see how the Lord was trying to break up wickedness. Like the scripture says, can two walk together except they agree. If we can't speak the same language, we can't plot and plan together.
Right.
Right?
You
There's
can't
no way,
communicate.
there's no way for us to build a scheme or a plot if we don't even understand each other.
Hey, don't Esau do that? Why do you think he broke it down the 12 tribes? He got the Haitians speaking what? French? Right. Patois and all of this stuff. He got the Northern Kingdom speaking Spanish. Then he got the Southern Kingdom speaking English. He literally broke down the tribes by language. Right? So pertaining
how hard it is. That's why brothers out here learning to speak Spanish.
Yeah. So we got to. Because we try to communicate.
Right.
And remember, they got put in captivity 100 years before us.
Right.
And it was forced to learn Spanish by the Spaniards and everything. So we come to them, they speak in Spanish, they speak Hebrew.
How we gonna tell them they part of the 12 tribes?
Right. They think we cursing at them. We say Shalom, they think we cursing at them. Right? So Nimrod as a hunter rebelled. And a person name is very important. We're also looking to Semiramis, we're looking to Astarte, we're looking to Diana and all that, right? But I always want to start with the origin. Now, why did I go with Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9? Right? Let's go to verse 10. Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 10. I'm here with the mighty black beard.
Book of Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse number 10. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new. It has been already of old time.
Right. Nimrod has been already of old time. Look. Which was before us. Right. And look, Babylon, 2000 BC. And then from there, 400 years after, 1600 BC, Egypt. And then from there, the Persians to the Greeks to the Romans, Renaissance, modern, all this type of thing. But even with Nimrod, he was also named what? Osiris. Right? And then from Osiris, and they showed the timeline as well. In the time of Egypt to the Persian, they called him Bel. Remember the story of Bel and the dragon? And then from there, the Greek, now they called him what? Zeus. And then from there, the Roman time, they call him Baal, like the bull. And then from there, yeah, now they say Jehovah. You see? And they put the J as Jehovah. They don't say Yahweh.
That did come to what, 1524, 1554, one of them.
Yeah, around the Renaissance, right?
Yeah, when J came into it.
Oh, yeah.
Like 1524, something like that.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Blackbeard is a historian, so he know like timelines and maps and locations and archaeology and everything, right? And in modern time, Molech. So this is all tying into who? Nimrod. 200 years after the flood, Nimrod was the first king who ruled over all the people of the earth. He deemed himself a god and built the Tower of Babel to reach into heaven and try to kill God via alchemy. That's sorcery. But God split his nation into many nations. Nimrod's kingdom fell, but each nation left still worshiping Nimrod, his wife and his son, but under different names, which are still being worshipped till today. That's why we brung out Genesis chapter 1 and verse 10. Read verse 11. There's nothing new under the sun.
The book of Genesis, chapter Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes 1 and verse 11.
Ecclesiastes 1 and 11. There is no remembrance of former things.
See, that's why people don't know. They forgot. There's no remembrance of former things. And former means like the past, you know?
Neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come.
You see? And now in these times, the Lord said people ain't gonna remember, right? We don't
With those that shall come after.
with those that shall come after. But what is the loophole behind this? Let's get John chapter 15 and verse 24.
So really, so when you read that, you gotta understand it's telling you that those that are current in the present right now, you don't remember that you've been regenerated 6 times before this.
Right.
And in each one of those lives, you erred some type of way, right? This being the last captivity, this is your last time, you know what I mean, to get your spirit in the proper fashion of order that it need to be in for the kingdom.
Come.
Right? And you don't know the mess ups and how you went the hell off back then. That's why we still make those same mistakes to this day, because we don't remember. And he said also that no remembers of that which is to come. So you can't go into the damn future, okay, and find the Powerball billion-dollar jackpot
Right.
numbers
And
and
try
then
to
come back to the present
past,
and
right,
then play the
all that.
lottery when it come in the future.
And try to rig the game and this and that, your reality.
Because you don't even know what's ahead of you. That's literally telling you that it's one play. Everything is just a circle of itself. It just keeps going in the same circle. You know that old depiction where they start off as a newborn baby,
Yeah.
and then it transcends into an old man, and then the old man lay down and die, and another newborn baby comes up. It's just a repetition of the cycle, but the playing field stays the same. The rules stay the same. Mm-hmm. You only err in those rules because you don't remember them. That's why, just the same with us with these laws, they were put in our inner parts from the beginning. We know them, and that's why those of us when we that succumb to the law is because when we heard it, our spirit resonated with it. It clicked. It tapped back into that old remembrance, but you couldn't do it on your own. The Lord had to bring that up out of you and cause it to happen. That's why so many people rebel against the word right now. The Lord got them stuck in that non-remembrance state.
And they don't. And speaking of the spirit, let's get John chapter 14, verse 26. It's going to precept what I was talking about earlier with the loophole. It's not brought back to people remembrance. There's nothing new under the sun. Speaking about Nimrod, Semiramis, Ishtar, Ishtarti, right? Diana, Artemis, and all of this stuff. And the Lord is cold because
she was a damn lady warrior, man.
Yeah, like you were saying with Artemis. And the Lord is cold because I played this game called God of War, and they would show it. Like, remember the game with Kratos, God of War, and this and that? And they would show the bow and arrow and all of this stuff. Different weapons.
Be playing that game.
Yeah, that joint fire.
Big swole cave Edomite looking good with his son following him around.
Yeah, but he was a Jake. He got cursed. Yeah, he was a Jake that got cursed, and they put the white ashes on him. He was black.
He was Cain.
Yeah, God, with the mark of Cain.
15 and 4.
No, John chapter 14 and verse 26. It's going to precept with Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 11 and 12.
Oh, I'm already there. I'm reading. I don't know why I'm looking at the number 15. John chapter 14 and verse 24.
26.
26. Yeah. But the Comforter, which is the Holy Ghost, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance whatsoever I have said unto you.
You see, that's the loophole. Yahweh Shemel Shai has brought the Holy Spirit unto the Israelites in these times, and he's bringing all things back to our remembrance. Right? We're relearning the history and we're catching up. We're seeking the knowledge. We're going through these books and these literatures, right? And we're exposing the wickedness of Esau and the history of Easter, Ishtar, right? Even starting with Nimrod. Why did we start with Nimrod? You always got to start with the male first. Because even in 1 Corinthians 11 speaks about it, right? It's the men, and then the woman, then the children. So start with the men first. Start with Nimrod first. Then it'll trickle on down to Semiramis. Because with Nimrod, they got Christmas, right? It's people talking about Christmas. But guess what else comes after with Christmas? New Year's. From there, Janus. And then all the way from there, fast forward to April, Easter. Easter ties into who? Ishtar, Semiramis.
And that's lucky. Even with Janus, Esau trying to show you that he paying attention to the past and the future. That's why the Lord tell you don't to remember.
Con.
Right? Because Janus represents That's why it's a two-face.
Two-face.
One
Right.
looking forward and one looking
Looking
back,
back.
because it's watching where he's going, but it's looking at what happened in the past. So as they move forward, they don't make the same mistakes.
Right. What's that saying? How can you know you're
going if you don't know where you come
yeah,
from?
if you don't know where you come from, right? How can you know where you're going? Right? But that's why these devils are scared of us and the information we're bringing out through Yahweh Shemel Shai, through the Holy Spirit. We understand the past, the present, and the scripture shows us the future too. Right? And we're living in the present. Like Blackbeard always say, you're living in your prophecy. You're living in your prayer. Literally. Right? And you damn devils, we're gonna do you like Kratos did. Right? You pagan false gods, we're gonna hunt you like Kratos did in God of War. He hunted all the false gods. He did who he did? Poseidon, he did him dirty. He grabbed his head, he bashed it on the damn wall here and there. He kept beating him damn near to death. You know? And even with Kratos, he went from the Greeks, slaughtered all of them. They went to the Vikings, the Asgardians, and slaughtered all of them. Kratos symbolized Israel.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He got cursed and all of that. And he got tricked by Ares.
That's Cain, man.
Yeah. You know?
You just look at the slaughtering of his brother. You consider that an act of warrior type. He killed him in the field. So it's almost like he snuck up on him while he was out there doing his work, man.
Yeah. Trickery, the delusion, like 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11. Right? So it says there's nothing new under the sun. John chapter 14, verse 26. It says the Holy Spirit gonna bring all things back to our remembrance. Right? That's why the Lord said in Peter's, we got to search through the scriptures. Study and show yourself approved. Like in Psalm 64. Right? So now, from Nimrod, now let's go into who? Ishtar. Right? And I got these books, man. Shout out to Elder Zaquan. Right? These books is fire. These are nuclear bombs. Spiritual aspect we talking about, right? Try to jack this up. Oh, we got them. They're gonna put the sound bite.
30 squad cars pulling up tomorrow. They said bombs. They terrorists.
That's what he was waiting for. Yeah, he got the hijabi. He got the Arabic scarf. There you go.
You saw he be man, when he be listening, they be listening. The Department of Homeland Security, they be looking for you to put that word, you know what I'm saying, with a couple of other words that make the implication like you saying that's what you're gonna do. They gonna show up. They're gonna be beating your door down.
Hey, don't forget AI, the voice manipulation, all that stuff. Right? So now, pertaining to Ishtar, right? It says Ishtar. Look at Isis. The first reincarnation they're talking about with Isis. And that's in the time of what? Egypt, 1600 BC, right? She was Nimrod's wife. After his death, she gave birth to Tammuz, who she claimed was Nimrod's reborn via the miracle of a virgin birth. Now, where do you hear the original virgin birth? Is here. Because what you're looking at right now in the New Testament, talk about Mary with a virgin birth. No, the original so-called pagan doctrine of the virgin birth, they was talking about Semiramis, right? And they say Semiramis just had a baby out of nowhere, Tammuz, but a lot of people didn't know that she slept with her son, who was Nimrod, right? That's incest, right? Of a virgin birth and from a fertility ritual she performed using eggs and rabbits. We're going to get with that with Easter, right? She also stated that Nimrod's spirit lived inside of pine trees, and that ties into what? Christmas, right? Which you were required to bring into your home and worship it once a year. Same as with Christmas. The pine tree, the Christmas tree, they switched it. We call it a Christmas tree 2025, but they call it a pine tree in that time.
You can read,
they remixed it.
You can get your little insert about it in Jeremiah 10.
Oh yeah,
about that tree that is talking about is Nimrod. Like when you go into the history of him becoming this worship deity to everybody, you know, and this just for those who may be on who don't know, right? When he died, the myth was that his spirit went into the tree. Yeah. So his mom cut that specific tree down and brought it back to their home. And that started the worship of the tree. Right. Because the people thought that Nimrod's spirit was in that tree, resurrected into that, or transcended into that tree. So just as when he was alive and in rulership, and they gave him, you know, gave him his due, right? Gold, whatever taxes, however they worshipped him. Now they had to bestow it onto the tree. That's why they decked the tree with the silver and the little gold little things you wearing around your neck, and all the little ornaments and all of those, right? Those is to represent basically burnt offerings and sacrifices to him. That's how that tree comes about.
And like we say, man, we're gonna get into it. This is the book right here. Get Colossians chapter 2 and verse 8. It's lucky I'm a little under the weather. And I was joking with Black Bear earlier, man. It could be 10 degrees weather, 40 degrees weather, negative 40 degrees, and we good. A damn raindrop. Out in the damn blizzard, and we good. Getting cursed out by Elder Toronto. And we good. A damn raindrop. But yeah, this is the book right here. Colossians chapter 2, verse 8.
Okay. This Colossians chapter 2 and verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophies and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
Right. So what are we talking about? Easter. Right? So this is the book right here. Mighty Blackbeard gonna read this one right here. And listen, all you Israelites, brothers and sisters, definitely get this book, man. It could definitely help you out with your studies, help you out with camp and everything here and there, this and that. Different edification. The book got so much stuff on the holidays, Halloween, all these different type of things, Romans, calendars, and the names and the months and everything. The elder definitely did his job and due diligence, with making this book. So shout out to Elder Saquon. What is it? Sons of Yahweh, I think, the camp, MC camp. So we're gonna get into it. You can read.
All right, this is from the book The Holiday Hustle, Controlling the Black Mind and Finances, right? Written by Frank Zaquan Jordan. This is page judging by this, we probably like a page 100 or something. But here we go. And it's called Happy Easter. Easter is known for its tradition of bunny rabbits, colored dyed eggs, family gatherings, dressing in really expensive attire to attend church on Sunday. Children getting released from school for spring break. But have you ever stopped to ask or question, where did this day originate or come from?
Right. Where did this day come from? Right. A lot of our people, they just follow whatever the white man give you. The white man give you Juneteenth, or you right there running. You follow. Whatever holiday he want to create, you want to celebrate. You don't even check out no information. You don't do no research on what you're following. And not knowing you sacrificing unto Satan. Right? You sacrificing unto witches and sorcerers. When you got a God, the only living God, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Right? And it's like I said, our people, they have no knowledge. Like in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1. The ox know of his owner, chapter 1 and verse 3. The ox know of his owner, the ass his master's crib, but Israel do not know. They don't even consider. Right? You keep on with that. They don't even consider. I was able to get around, man.
Like you want to die.
I need a Samsung charger.
Right. It says, few people realize that Easter has very little to do with supreme being or establishing it as a high holy day in the Bible.
Right. Few people realize, right? Read that part again.
Few people realize that Easter has very little to do with the supreme being or establishing it as a holy holiday in the Bible.
Right. So nowhere you're gonna find the Lord said for you Israelites to keep Easter. Right? You are not gonna find where the Lord said to keep Easter. right? You could try to be slick and all of this stuff. And yeah, we supposed to be decked out. We supposed to be getting some bunny rabbits and get the eggs and all of this stuff and looking fine as hell in church and dressed up and all of this, right? Okay. All right. Okay. So now, let me give y'all a quick one. People might try to use that as a trick. They say, "Oh, there's Easter, right? There's Easter, brother. I'm gonna show you where Easter is at, brother. Right? Easter is in Acts chapter 12 and verse 4. Okay. Let's see what Acts chapter 12 and verse 4 says.
The book of Acts, chapter 12, and verse number 4. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to four quaternions, how you pronounce it, of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people.
So hold on. This is Peter. They done locked up and it was holding him, right? And they till after Easter, right? But they hear that. They say, "Oh, here we go, brother. Close the book. Let me put on my goddamn $10,000 Easter suit and close the book, brother. God is good. Oh, God is good, brother." Right? But if you read in context, read verse number 3.
And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also.
Right? And what else it says?
Then were the days of unleavened bread.
Now, hold on. What does Easter and unleavened bread got to do with each other? It don't make sense. Right. Because remember, Exodus chapter 12, right? And look, this is the spirit. What chapter is this? This is Acts chapter 12. Right? The Lord is even showing you in certain chapters how you line up with the numbers. Exodus chapter 12 and Acts chapter 12 is precepts together. Right? In Acts chapter 12, what is happening? It says unleavened bread in verse 3. In Exodus chapter 12, that's the chapter about the Passover when it first got implemented. Now, read verse 4.
It's like, yeah, think about it too. He's trying to put him in jail so he can't keep the feast.
Exactly, yeah.
Because remember, he ain't get no unleavened bread, and he behind the damn Pokemon bars.
And what's the precept? Deuteronomy chapter 16 and 16, real quick. Right? Because people forget this is mandatory. Right?
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 16. You said 16?
Yeah, 16 and 16.
Right. 3 times in a year shall all thy male appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty.
Now hold on, feast of unleavened bread, that ties in with Passover, right? Yeah. The feast of weeks, and then the feast of tabernacles and all of that, and the feast of Pentecost. So hold on. Isn't it supposed to be mandatory to show up to the Passover? How can you show up to the Passover? You locked up in prison.
Jail, man. Brother in jail trying to hold his own Passover.
Right. He by himself. And then his spirit is all jacked up. He pissed off and mad. Ain't got no lamb.
No wine.
And you know they try
to
feed
bitter herb.
They try to feed. You know damn well they try to
finish, man.
Because remember, the Lord said you got to be worthy, like in Corinthians, to eat the lamb. Make sure you're worthy to eat the lamb. And who better than the leader and the head of the church that's supposed to, and think about it. He's supposed to conduct the Passover because he's the leader of the church. So if you take, it's like with Elder Zabak. They take Elder Zabak and lock him up during the Passover. And he's supposed to help conduct the whole service. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. But what is they doing? Read Acts chapter 12, verse 40. Because people would try to run to that and talk about, oh yeah, we got Easter there, brother. Let me get my damn cattail 9 suit, $10,000, and let me get my whole yellow, shining like the damn sun. Right? And my damn yellow gators, like I'm from Detroit.
Now later gators.
Now later gators.
Yeah.
Either get it now or later.
Right. Acts 12 and 4. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to the 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people.
Why did they want to hold him till after Easter? Well, let's look at it. This is the Blue Letter Bible, right? Right. Y'all know the Blue Letter Bible. Esau, you know damn well. So now, Blue Letter Bible. Let's go into the Strongs. Strong, right? Let's go into the Strongs. Let's go into the Strong's Concordance. And now, G3957. Easter. Hold on. Let's look into Easter. What does it say for Easter? What's the definition? Hold on. What the hell? What is this? Wait a minute. What is the first thing that pops up with Easter?
Passover.
Look at that. Right? The Paschal sacrifice, which was accustomed to be offered for the people's deliverance of old from Egypt. The Paschal is speaking about the Passover. Right? And then look, number 2. The Paschal lamb, the lamb of the Israelites, were accustomed to slay and eat on the 14th day of the month of Nisan. What is the month of Nisan? That's speaking about the first month of the Hebrew calendar.
Late March, early April.
Con. And that's where they're talking about in the New Testament as Easter. But they're actually speaking what? Passover. That's what they're talking about. And they said it requires what? A lamb. That's in Exodus chapter 12. Right? Were bidden by God to slay and eat a lamb, to sprinkle their doorposts with his blood, that the destroying angel, seeing the blood, might pass over their dwellings. Christ crucified is likened to the slain Paschal lamb. Passover.
Right.
That's what it's talking about. So if you run into Acts chapter 12 talking about, yeah, that's Easter, brother. No. If you look it up in the definition, it's actually speaking about Passover. But they can hear you, right?
Yeah, we do.
Right? It's actually speaking about the Passover. So you can't run. You can't try to run and try to hide and try to mix the words and all of that. For example, Old Testament Apocrypha, New Testament, like even Elijah in the Old Testament. In the New Testament, they might say Elias. But because we do our studying, we know who is it talking about. Right? They'll change up some of the letters and the words and the names, but we know exactly what it's talking about. Right? So you can't run from that. All right? Talking about Pascal. You get your Pascal. Pascal. Easter. Get the hell out of here, man. All right? Yeah, you could keep going with that. with the what?
Starting the 3rd paragraph. Easter was originally the celebration of Ishtar.
Now hold on. Who is Ishtar? It says originally the celebration of Ishtar. Let's look up Ishtar.
And they call her the Queen of Heaven too.
Ain't that crazy? Where in the Bible does it says the Lord got a queen of the heavens?
Heaven. He don't refer to none of his daughters as queens.
Exactly. Daughters of Zion, daughters of God.
And its origin means whore.
Yeah, let's look into that.
Right? It's like calling her the bed witch to the king. Right? It literally means whore, or at one point it was abbreviated for drag queen, which is what you would call like today, your Rainbow Coalition, transgenders and things of that nature.
Look into this.
Yeah, why he's surfing that? Just for the record, because I know somebody probably like, how the hell the New Year starting half of March and half of Easter? Because we observe even to evening as the end of the day, right? So at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever time the sun goes down, that's the end of the day, right? We're going now into our dusk and dawn mode. So by 12 midnight, while Esau's world and kingdom is saying that's the end of the day, we're actually coming into our morning on the same day that you're ending yours. So 2 weeks, that would, if you understand that, that would literally put us in the middle of every month. Our month would end in the middle of the month, right? So that's how. So just say March the 15th or the 14th. Just say it was 30 days. 30 days. March the 15th will be the end of the month for us, and from the 16th to the 30th, or the 15th to the 30th, will be considered April.
Right. And
in the Hebrew calendar.
And the precept to it back there is talking about if you have confusion like our people have today, is Daniel 7:25,
Oh,
right? Where the Lord said this damn demon is going to change the times and the seasons.
things, times, and see, yeah.
Yeah, daylight saving times and all of this stuff, and fast forward and back in this. Bro, we live in Chicago. Next to us is Indiana. Different zip code. Timeline is different.
Bro, we was talking about this before. It's the same time everywhere in the world.
Mhm.
There is no time zones. Esau did all of that to cause confusion. If you look at the sun
Oh yeah, then he came back and all of this stuff and this malarkey and madness. All right. So now, Shalom, can you hear us on the YouTube? Just want to make sure y'all can hear us on the YouTube. Like the damn signal was going down here and there. Tell you, Satan boy.
You know, we got janky. This side of town got janky internet connection and Wi-Fi signals be jacked up, man. I'm rocking 5G and that joint be tripping like it's 2Gs. Ready to call the phone people and kick up some damn dust around this boy, man. Paying for this and I ain't getting the full action.
Getting robbed of our services.
Yeah, it's like you pay to watch a movie on the damn network, man, and they only let you get the preview after you pay for the whole movie. You only get a trailer.
You only see the damn trailer. That's it. Then you gotta imagine the damn ending and make the movie a damn self. Ain't that crazy? Shalom, y'all can still hear us, Khan. All praise. Right. So now let's get into. So once again, we show with the queen, like Black Blue was bringing up, you know, pertaining to a whore, a hussy, a prostitute.
But why they call her the queen of heaven, though? No, I think whatever doctrine is built around that, that's why cats be thinking it's literally a Eve sitting on the side of the Most High, man.
And that's the woman that ties into what they'll say, like the black woman is God, goddesses, all that stuff. Mother Mary and all of this stuff, Goddess Mary and all of that. Right? So,
and it don't got nothing to do with them looking pale skinned, because these Babylonians and Assyrians had dark skin too in their time, right? And they would have been called Moor, which means nigger.
Yeah.
Like any person back in antiquity that had dark skin was called a Moor.
But then Esau, when to talk about the Egyptians, was white. Get your white crack. So everything is white. The samurai is white. The shinobi is white. The cowboy is white.
But you go look in history and you'll see that samurais were black men.
Right. Okay. And in order to be a samurai, you had to have black blood. Okay. And they would knock the nose off. He would knock the nose off the statues and all of that stuff. Talk about Negroid nose and all that. All right. So just showing y'all a quick thing of Ishtar. Ishtar and Nina in Sumerian sources is a primary Mesopotamian goddess, closely associated with love and war. This powerful Mesopotamian goddess is the first known deity from which we have written evidence, while largely unknown in the modern day. This powerful ancient deity, right? So this talking about Ishtar, right? Now, right here, Ishtar had a significant impact on the image and cult of many later goddesses, including the famous Greek goddess of love. So it's showing you like a carbon copy of love, Aphrodite. Yeah, the goddess of love, right? And the thing, when you talk about the goddess of love, she would sleep with everybody. So she was a whore, right? And other well-known goddesses such as Astarte.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe too, like she had a harem of men.
Yeah.
Like she was under the Solomon Act, man.
Yeah,
like thousands and hundreds of dudes and all that. And they said she never slept with them twice. She sleep with them and then kill them.
And kill them.
Which is how the praying mantis.
Yeah, the praying
mantis female. After she mate with the man, she bite his head off.
So now it says with Astarte, many goddesses from the classical period, such as Aphrodite, Artemis, who we were speaking about earlier, and also Athena, right, have continued to function as important cultural symbols. Ishtar comparatively has not enjoyed similar longevity to her image.
Them Greeks.
Yeah. The Romans and the Greeks.
Athens.
Yeah.
It's named after the Athenians. What's the name pronounce her name?
Athena. Or Athena?
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy? Look what it says right here. It says, Ishtar comparatively has not enjoyed similar longevity to her image. Why is that? Because they kept repackaging her. So they're acting like it was just one person, that's it, it's over with, and she's competing with everybody else. No, it's the same person. They kept repackaging her throughout the timeline. Gave her different names and all that. It's the same person. Right? So when they're talking about Ishtar, let's get Jeremiah chapter 44. Jeremiah chapter 44. Yeah, Jeremiah chapter 44, and let's get verse number. Lord of mercy. Jeremiah 44 and 17.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter
Oh,
44,
Slocky, verse 16. Look what these bastards said.
and verse 16. As for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of the Lord, we will not hearken unto thee.
That's what they said. We don't give a damn what you say. We ain't listening to nothing you say, Jeremiah. Right? They said we ain't gonna listen to you. You can say whatever the hell you want, do this and that. We don't give a damn. We're not listening to you. Right?
Verse 17. But we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth, to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, as we have done. We and our fathers, our kings, and our princes, in the cities of Judah, and in the streets of Jerusalem. For then had we plenty of victuals, and were well, and saw no evil.
Look
So
at that.
this is a damn Stockholm syndrome, people, man. They love the oppression, man. That's why, Jeremy, like, you think about what type of conversation, man. I can see them right now in Jeremiah's face, huffing and puffing. They probably surrounded him, ready
Try to punch him.
try to stomp him out. You know what I'm saying? For telling them it's like that. Those are words of conflict, man. That's like hostile speaking right there.
They said most certainly.
Yeah.
Double down on it.
Like, we trying to hear none of that what you talking about.
Right? And they said what? They said certainly we would do whatsoever.
Why he said, man, Israel, the only one saved, man. Yeah, because they won't do right.
And the burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven. Remember, didn't the Lord kill Aaron's son for burning the wrong incense? If the Lord killed the sons of the high priest, what the hell are you thinking about doing? Right? And to pour out drink offering. So instead of you drinking wine or strong drink, how about shot at Passover, which we did, right? Or for the Lord's feast day, the new moon. Instead, they said we're gonna get lit for Easter. We're gonna get lit for Ishtar. And the Ishtar hit the fan. Right? Yeah. And offerings, as we have done, we and our fathers and our kings and our princes in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. But then have we plenty of victuals items, and we were well, and saw no evil.
That's why the Lord tell you don't be looking up on the wicked and the gains that they got coming. He basically saying, nigga, long while we worshiping this person, we living good.
Blessed.
It's on and popping. You trying to make us follow out the dude. You want us to give up all our possessions. And we don't do it.
We ain't going back to being broke.
We don't do it. You know what I have to do to get these 200 donkeys I got over there?
Right, literally.
You know, yeah.
And they lit, and they decked out, and they got jewelry, and they got a nice little satchel and all that stuff. Right? So now, they said we would certainly do a sacrifice unto Ishtar. So now, what's the precept? Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 7.
Deuteronomy chapter 32. Verse 7. They sacrificed unto devils, not to God, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not.
See, they sacrifice unto devils, not to gods, or goddesses. Right? They sacrifice unto devils and gods and goddesses, like Semiramis, like Ishtar, right? Like Aphrodite, like Artemis. Right? And you might be asking, how the hell we know this? Yeah, because we used to watch these shows when we was in the world. And we never knew that the Lord would use us, literally to bring out the information on the stuff that we watch. Right? And it says to new gods who we didn't even know, because we dealt with Yahweh Chanel Shai the whole time. And read verse 16 then.
They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods, with abominations provoked they him to anger.
See? So the Lord is pissed off.
Change.
Right. Literally, to this day. And like Jeremiah was telling, they said, certainly we're going to do it of our own mouth. We're going to keep the sacrifices of the bread and the wine and all of this to the Queen of Heaven. We're going to do all of this. Now let's go back to Jeremiah chapter 22 and verse 18.
gotta get straight back. That's why Israel is all mad as hell right now. That verse is telling you why they in the land right now. Why they call themselves the real Jews right now. You didn't give a damn until you found out you existed. Now you mad. Just like the Lord gets jealous, what's the act about it? That's the stage we in. That's why we on every highway and byway in every city, every country. Damn near. Teaching his word. This is how we spiritually fighting back out of our anger and jealousy that we have.
Yeah, that's spiritual war.
You see?
And I think about it, man, because with us, and people might say, yeah, what are you talking about? Amalek and all that. Listen, precept for that, Ezekiel 70 verse 20. You think the Lord playing games?
You say 7?
Yeah, Ezekiel 7 verse 20.
With Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 21. As for the beauty of his ornament, he set it in majesty. But they made the image of their abominations and of their detestable things therein. Therefore have I set it far from them.
Right? And what did he set far from us? That jewel, that land, Jerusalem.
Right? Verse number 21. And I will give it into the hands of the strangers for a prey, and to the wicked of the earth for a spoil, and they shall pollute it.
That's how you know that's Esau Amalek.
Look at it. Right in front of you.
He said the wicked of the earth. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And he covered the face of the judges thereof. And they will give it to a spoil. That's why they keep it LGBT elemental heat, the biggest gay parade in Jerusalem, the only land.
Pollution of it.
Yeah. Right?
So they're gonna pollute the land, man.
Yeah.
That's why it's gotta be destroyed so we can come back to the home land, man. It gotta be pure. That's where the Lord is at. I got him living in filth.
Little. He's a holy God. He said Leviticus 20 verse 25 and 26. Where it says, I'm holy, saying I used to be holy, I must be separate. Read verse 22 for this morning.
My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place. For the robbers shall enter into it and die.
Hey, don't we got that book with the Edomites? And they literally stole the menorah out the temple.
They got it right on the cover. Them carrying the menorah right outside of it.
Literally right on the cover, man. Literally stole the menorah and got it right out the cover of the robbers. Right? And I can put it on the screen too. Can't make this up. Catholic priests and ministers and all of this stuff. They got all these big ass flock. They got all these big Catholic temples, and they got all the cups and all of this stuff, gold and silver, looking majestic, and jewelry and all of that. That's all ours. They took that from us. And remember, we are the jewels of God. That's in Exodus chapter 1. Exodus chapter 1. His treasures. Precept for that as well. Joel chapter 5. It speaks about it. Also, they have stolen my ugly things. Israel and Judah were oppressed together. So to the hands of Grecians. That's the one. Right? Edomites.
No, we got out there far read.
Here we go. Y'all can see. Right? Can you make these up? I can see.
Book it. It's called the Roman Empire, the Empire of the Edomites, right? Which would be the so-called white man. German, Russian, Ukraine, all pale skinned people of the Caucasian nation. We call humans.
Pale skinned devil.
Dutch, Sweden, Finland, all of them.
And we ain't making this up, man. Right? So like the scripture says, and it's gonna get more. It's gonna get worse. We was at what verse number 22, 23?
Ezekiel,
Yeah, Ezekiel
7 and 21, no, 20 to 22. That's where we stopped at. 22.
Yeah. Read verse number 23.
Verse 23. Make a chain, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of violence.
What's happening right now? The war with them in Gaza. Right? There's literally a war in the land right now, full of violence. When they was dropping bombs.
And don't forget, was it last year?
Yeah,
when they were holding on their feast and the Lord had the Muslims run up in there on their ass.
They hit them with the Muhammad.
They was holding one of their little gatherers, man, and the Muslims came in
and started beating them
down.
Now, this is the key. Verse number 24.
Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses. I will also make the pomp of the strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled.
See, the Lord had to double down on it again, like he said in verse number 21. He said, I'm going to bring the worst of the heathens. Who's the worst of the heathens? It's Esau. And not just Esau, but who's the grandson of Esau? Amalek. Right? Amalek is the mind. He's the head of the tribe of the Edomites. Same as Judah. Why do you think they stole Judah's nationality? Judah's the top tribe, is the head of the tribes of Israel, and Amalek, they both vice versa. So they did the switcheroo.
Lord told you he was going to bring a nation up on us from
afar.
Yeah. Swift as an eagle, man, with a language that you didn't understand. Heard. That's why when they came over and they started coming after us, they had to find some of our people, you know what I mean, who understood the language a little bit and sold us out.
Right. So you see, we are not making this up, man. Right? Yeah, you keep reading. Oh yeah, Jeremiah 44 and 18.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 44 and verse 18. But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven.
Right? They burn incense to the Queen of Heaven. And where in the Bible did the Lord say he has a queen? Or the Queen of Heaven? Exodus 15 and verse 3. Right? The Lord said he's a man of war. Right? And in Deuteronomy chapter 32, it speaks about it. He said he's the God alone. He's the Lord God alone. There's no other God but me. Yeah. So how is it he's the God alone and no other God but him, and now he got a queen with him? That don't make sense. All right, read on.
And to pour out drink offerings unto her. We have wanted all things and have been consumed by the sword and by the famine. All right. See how they don't even realize. And the crazy thing, let me read that again.
Bring it out.
You know what I'm saying? We have wanted all things and have been consumed by the sword and famine. Now, before I say what I gotta say, I want to show you something.
Yeah, I got a precept too.
This is Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Right? This is one of the curses. It says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in the want of all things. What did they just say over here? We have wanted all things and have been consumed by the sword and by famine. And in the want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon their neck until he have destroyed thee. So they living in the curses and they don't even realize they're in the curses. By trying to serve the heathen, you comparing how luscious your life was with the heathen, but yet you getting beat down every turn you get. That's because the curses was up on them.
And they don't realize.
And they don't even realize.
That's a strong delusion.
See?
Now, the thing with that is going to precept with this. Isaiah chapter 28. This one's gonna be crazy. Here we go. Isaiah chapter 28 and verse number 15.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 28, and verse number 15. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death. So I don't know how that came
Damn.
out.
I like the dude from Texas.
Right.
With damn.
So lucky. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement.
That's Ishtar. They in agreement with the Queen of Heaven. They're gonna make a sacrifice, they're gonna make the drink offering and all of that stuff with the Queen of Heaven. Read on.
And when the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us, for we have made lies our
You
refuge.
see?
God.
Remember what you were saying? Right? Remember and what's the precept to that? 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 11. Gave them a strong delusion that they shall believe what? A lie.
A lie.
And that lie got turned into what? Their refuge. And it's like you in a house. You in a house and you thinking you safe is an illusion. You don't know you in a death trap. You in a grave. But it looks good because you don't understand. Because of the love that you have towards the heathen.
And you can see that with our people to this day.
God.
They still act like this. You know, it says, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves.
See? So they thinking that she's gonna protect them. Ishtar, Semiramis, Easter, right? The Queen of Heaven, Diana, Aphrodite, right? Artemis. They thinking these women is gonna protect them. They're goddesses. They'll keep them safe until Kratos pop up. And when Kratos pop up, all that lies you was living, he gotta give you that raw wake up call. You know, and Kratos symbolized Israel. That truth, it hits like a damn sledgehammer. Right? So now what happened? They thinking they all good. Everything is all good. Verse 18.
Isaiah 28 and verse 18. And your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then ye shall be trodden down by it.
See? That devil gonna turn on you now. It's like Ishtar with the statue. She got multiple breasts and all of that stuff, and she got you drawing towards her, and it's a strong delusion. I used to watch this movie, this TV show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Right? And one of the villains towards the end of the show, everybody looked at her. She was born. They said she looked beautiful, majestic. Everybody was just blinded by her beauty. Until one day, one of the characters in the show, they snap out of the illusion, and they see how she looked. She looked at like maggots, beasts, disgusting death, and he couldn't. He almost died of shock. He couldn't believe it. But everybody else is loving her. They're like, "Oh my God, I love you." They thinking she's a beautiful dime piece, whatever.
Beelzebub.
So that Beelzebub just snapped right there. Familius, what was it? Familius Horridius Satanius. Yeah.
Familius
Satanius Horridius, man. And that's what happened. That strong delusion, that refuge of lies. Right? Now the precept for that.
And then 18 told me, he said, and they shall pass through, then ye shall be trodden down by it. The Lord already told y'all, the hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be punished. Right? And that they looking for a nation to save them who can't save themselves from the hand of the Lord.
Literally. So. And plus what? You saying the Queen of Heaven and all this, like even Christ was cutting the women. She said, "Oh, blessed is the woman that perhaps you came from." He said, "No, blessed is the one that keeps the laws of God." She even tried to hit him with the Queen of Heaven doctrine, or the black woman is God type of doctrine.
She was fresh from over there in Egypt hanging out.
Yeah, she was chilling, man, with ISIS. She was kicking it with ISIS.
What's her name? Sheba.
Oh yeah, Sheba. You know. And now the precept for that, like I said, we flowing through the spirit, you know, with the scriptures of the east to go against and the bashing, right? The precept for that is Isaiah chapter 5 and verse number 13.
Isaiah chapter 5, verse number
12. Verse number 12.
Verse number 12. And the harp and the viol, the tabret and pipe and wine are in their feast, but they regard not the work of the Lord, neither consider the operation of his
You
hands.
see, that's y'all keeping Easter. Y'all partying, y'all having a good time. You nincompoop, idiot, skull, demon devils. You should have been keeping Passover, right? So your musics and all of this stuff, right? But you're not doing the work of the Lord. Lock it. You're not doing the work of the Lord. So now what happens? You keep reading.
Verse 13. Therefore, my people are gone into captivity, because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished,
See?
and their multitude dried up with thirst.
Like you were saying earlier with the famine. They have no knowledge. Your knowledge is destroyed because Colossians 2 and verse 8, right? You have been defiled by this world, by the customs and the ways of this world. The knowledge is speaking about the scriptures, right? If you knew about Isis, Ananiah, or Ananiah, Semiramis, Diana, quote unquote Virgin Mary, Columbia, all of this stuff, and Artemis, then you would have known not to follow that. You would have kept the laws and commandments of Yahweh Shemir and Shai. But you want to keep Easter, right?
All right, you say verse 13 says, therefore my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge. So you can precept that with Hosea 4 and 6 and 1 Samuel 15 and 23.
Yeah, 15.
15 and 23 says, this is 1 Samuel 15, 23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. So basically they just to say, when they told Jeremiah, man, we ain't trying to hear that. We're going to do what we want to do. The Lord at that point, he looking at you like you're a witch, a damn sorcerer. And he said, we suffer not a wish to live.
Now y'all all got to die. Y'all marked.
So it's so many, he telling you the same thing, so many different ways, man. He say, and stubbornness, which is literally what they acted out of when they said certainly, right? That's stubbornness. Crazy, like we ain't budging. Stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, Hosea 4 and 6, he has also rejected thee from being king. You get that with Exodus 22 and 18 as well.
Right? So now,
Exodus 22 and 13 says, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
But we making things up. And if y'all think these witches and all of this stuff is make-believe, why do you think they make all these shows? I used to watch these shows too when I was in the world. Charmed. Everybody know about that with Piper Prue and Phoebe. Right? What about Sabrina, the Teenage Witch? Right? And they made it like comedy. And they had the cat, Salem, the talking cat.
Who was black.
Who was black. Right. As comedy and all of this stuff. He's just chilling. And she had an aunt, her whole family was witches. Right? What about what you got? The Vampire Diaries. Right? And they had witches over there as well too. So many movies you can look up of witches. And the Lord said they're not supposed to live, you're supposed to kill them. But we didn't know that. So Esau indoctrinated us in the understanding of his ways, which was against the laws of God. But now we wake up to the truth, and now we're using it as a weapon against it. All right? I remember, Charm, they had the big-ass grimoire, the big-ass book, and all the spells, and all three had to come together to do the spell to cast off the demon or whatever.
You, man, when they had to do one of them spiritual exorcism things on me, I told you they came out with a book that big,
300 pounds, man.
I remember that.
That's all we think, y'all. Why should y'all shot? All right, should my shot was shot. We can keep going with the
So we back in the book.
God, back in the book.
Right. The holiday hustle. It says, I also have a question for you. How many times have anyone witnessed or seen a bunny rabbit lay an egg?
Right.
Unless it's an animated cartoon or the magic of a Hollywood movie, the answer to that will be never. Why? The answer is quite simple. Real life males and female rabbits produce baby rabbits, not eggs.
Mm.
So the very next question that should come to mind is where and why is this day promoted as such, and where did it come from?
Right. And speaking about that, because don't the people have the eggs, the kids, and don't they eat it usually towards the end of the night? Right. But let's see what God said. Let's get Leviticus chapter 11.
But do you see the genocide in that, like the symbology of it?
Mm.
Right. Y'all say that the rabbit lay an egg. We know that even the woman have lay eggs.
Right. Fertility and all that.
Right. A woman produce eggs every month. Right. Roughly around the time that she becomes fertile, 14 days after she come off her flower, she will ovulate.
Mm.
Eggs will start to flow down into the fallopian tubes and wait on a sperm cell to penetrate, and that's how she'll get pregnant, right? But these kids is hunting out the eggs, and then you eating the eggs.
Right, exactly.
So it's like cannibalism.
Yeah, literally. And the precept to that, Leviticus 11 and 6. Y'all talking about the Easter ham? We'll get into that too as well. But what about the eggs? Right?
Right.
Like
Life
my
comes from the eggs.
Right.
You say 11?
Yeah, 11 and 6. Leviticus 11 and 6.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 11 and verse 6. And the hare, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, he is unclean unto you.
Now, what is the hare?
A rabbit.
That's a rabbit.
Now, why would you be eating his eggs? That's no different than the Lord telling you not to eat the swine.
He's unclean to you.
He unclean, but you can eat his
But
eggs.
you can eat his eggs.
What does the egg ultimately turn into once it's been thoroughly incubated under heat lamp? Another damn rabbit.
Hey, remember that commercial, Silly Rabbit? Tricks off the kids. What's the trick? You've been tricked.
And that's so cold, because it tricked the kid, because the kid, he's naive. They gullible. They don't have biased perspectives of things, because they innocent in mind. They don't really know nothing. So they willing to trust anybody and the knowledge that you feed up on them.
You're supposed to, like Christ said in Corinthians, he said, I spoke like a child, and then I put away childish things, and I think like a man.
And that's the problem. We done grew up. We done became men. We understand the word of the Most High, so there's no more tricking us.
Come.
That's why Esau mad. But Israel, y'all got to understand, man, how fast Israel has populated across this country, across the countries, across the map, the world.
Right.
How fast it has happened. We can go back to the 60s when the elders, you know what I'm saying, were the only ones teaching it, that we were Israelites. But from then till probably, I'll say maybe, what is this, 2025?
Yeah.
Let's just go back to probably 1998, 99. Nobody knew nothing about us being Israel, except those who were probably that left here and went to Dimona.
Yeah.
Right. And then the elders that we have today, who were coming up under the elders of 69, under Priest Ariella and all of them, right? Those elders would be today elders of Bach, right? Bishop Nathaniel, Elder Terah, right? And Elder Kahan, and so forth and so on, right? They were the ones but we didn't have a damn clue about it. So what I'm saying is, from the time that our generation came into the knowledge by way of the elders I just aforementioned, look how rapidly, fast, how quick Israel has scattered in acknowledgement of who we are. The works that are being done is why these calamities is falling on the white man's infrastructure right now. Y'all, people thinking that this stuff is happening because Putin at war with Zelensky, Trump is a damn terrorist, right? They don't have nothing to do with that. All of that is a part of the pawns that they are. The Lord is moving them like chess pieces. They pawns for the prophecy. They being put in position for the prophecy. And the more that we continue to do this work, the more that we grow and keep teaching Israel who they are, you're going to see things that's never been seen on the face of this earth. The Lord said, don't be dismayed. Be not dismayed at the signs in heaven. Well, they got everybody looking up in the damn sky for, because planes falling every damn way. Chariots is showing up everywhere. You Israelites supposed to be still doing what you doing, man. You just see the UFOs. Yeah, we know.
Keep pushing.
We know that.
They doing their job. Let's do ours. All right.
Back to the book.
Come.
Oh, I had that Leviticus.
Oh, Leviticus 11:6. That was the hair.
Oh,
we ready for it.
All right, so back to the book. Ishtar, which is pronounced Easter, or in the German, Eostri, the goddess of dawn.
Right, the goddess of dawn. Right. You know.
How many damn names she got?
Hey, but look.
Queen of heaven, goddess of God, dawn.
So look at the head right there with Isis. Look at the connects. Oh, not just that. Look at the head right there.
Behind,
like
yeah.
the suns.
And
I was
just going to say the damn Statue of Liberty.
Yeah,
them the light rays.
It's the same joint. It's connected. Look.
Even inside
they think it's a halo. No,
crown.
it's the sun.
Yep.
They keep connected. See? And look who it started with. ISIS. Yep.
Boy. Miss Diana with the damn moon.
Yeah, with the moon joint right there.
Upside down moon. And you know that's the symbol that the what's dude in there? That movie. Turkish.
Oh yeah. Ottoman Turks.
Ottoman
Turks. Yeah, my man.
Yeah, that's them.
Mm-hmm. It's all connected.
Says was the day that commemorated the resurrection of one of their gods that was named Tammuz.
Now hold on. Where you finding Tammuz at? It's right here. And it's in the Bible too as well. Right? See, Tammuz right here. Right? On December 25th. A lot of people thinking they keeping Christmas. Christ was born in Christmas. No, you celebrating Tammuz.
Yeah, Nimrod.
Yeah, and Nimrod. So now, what about Tammuz? Because they all connect. In order to get to Ishtar, you must understand Semiramis, and then from there understand Nimrod, and what they created was Tammuz. Now, what happened? Let's get Ezekiel chapter 8. And if you think the Lord is happy, then you want to celebrate Christmas or Tammuz and Easter, and they all connect. Why we keep saying the same thing? Because they all connect. They flow together. It's not just one single holiday here and there. No, they all connect together. All right? Ezekiel chapter 8, and let's get verse number. Here we go. Ezekiel chapter 8 and verse number 12.
Book Ezekiel chapter 8 and verse number 12. Then said he unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancient of the house of Israel do in the dark? Every man in the chambers of his imaginary? For they say, the Lord seeth us not. The Lord has forsaken the earth.
And remember we went with the precepts where their refuge is lies? The strong delusion, they're hiding behind, they're thinking that they're safe and that they're good. The Lord said, do you see what they're doing in the dark? In their chambers, that means their rooms.
Cast out in your name.
And your name and all of this stuff. Nah, the Lord said, I never knew you because I know what you're doing behind the scenes. Now, what's the point about this? The Lord was guiding Ezekiel and was showing him through the visions what was going on behind the scenes. It was like astral projection. He was able to see through the walls and here and there, this and that. He was going through here and there. It was all through the dream. They didn't know what was going on.
Same thing with Ezekiel. I mean, with Ezra.
Yeah, same thing with Khan.
All being able to see the beginning and the end. John.
Right. Oh yeah, with Revelations and all of that. So now, keep reading. It's gonna get crazy because we talking about Tammuz. People think we crazy, we bugging out, but what is the connection? Okay, we're gonna find out.
Verse 13. You want the book or you want the book?
That one. Yeah.
He said, this is Ezekiel 8 and 13. He said also unto me, turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do.
So Ezekiel chapter 8 is a step-by-step process of all the wickedness that Israel is doing, the elders, the leadership is doing behind the scenes. That people ain't seeing in the daylight. They're hiding it.
That's why in verse 12 he said, have you seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark.
And remember, 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. Judgment starts in the house of the Lord. He's going to start with the elder and the ancient men. Ezekiel 9 and 4. Right? Kill, slay, ugly, old, and young. Start with who? The ancient of the house.
And then it's 1 Samuel 2.
Yeah, 1 Samuel 2.
We told him to mark those that cause discord and start at the house of Israel first.
Yeah, that's Ezekiel 9. Yeah, Ezekiel 9. So he said start at
and 4.
Yeah. Right. So he said start at the ancient, right? Keep going.
Verse 14. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord's house, which was towards the north.
Hold on. So this is the temple of the Lord. What are they doing?
Worship, service.
Right. But who are they worshiping and serving? Find out.
And behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz.
Look at that. The same woman that will push Queen of Heaven, Semiramis, Diana, all of this stuff. Now they're weeping for Tammuz. They're weeping for the child. But while they're weeping for the child, they're also worshiping the pagan child. And you see, and you know what our women, you already know. They got mercy. It's like look, Willie Lynch and all of this stuff. Like today. You got a black man about to whip Esau behind up and down the damn street. No, please, don't do that. Don't do that to him. Our women by nature, we always try to show mercy.
That's that emotional, you know what I'm saying, spirit that the Lord got on them.
Right. But then weeping for who? Tammuz. Right? And the Lord said that's a great abomination in the temple of the Lord. Why is the idol pagan God, all of this idol worship is being brought into the temple of the Lord?
They ain't got one.
They ain't got one. See? So the pagans ain't got one, but you bringing them into your house.
Into your house.
They ain't got a house, but you want to bring them into your house. Like the Christmas tree, like the Easter customs.
You know they got you chained up somewhere.
Literally. They want to bring the Mary, what is it? Holy Mary Mother with the child, the little statue, like no other king do. Want to bring it to the house like an altar. Right? You know?
The Lord knew that the other nations were savages. You know what I'm saying?
No mercy.
That's why when you go back in Genesis, you read in chapter 3 and 2, when he first plucked Adam and Eve out of the multitudes, right? And because remember, Adam and everything else was created in heaven, right? It hadn't even came down to earth yet. But when he did touch down on earth, is when the Lord started bringing different animals and everything to him. But these animals were already created. Everything was created in the third heaven. Then it was placed down here on the earth.
Yeah.
Right?
Remember Matthew, so as in earth, as in heaven. Back and forth here and there. Whatever is tied and bind in earth shall be bound in heaven. Same thing.
Now mind you, Eve came later. The garden wasn't even there yet when the people were created. You read in Genesis 3, that's around the time he created the garden. Right? So Adam and everything else was already created. And on earth. He created man and female. They were already on earth and they were out of pocket. That's when the Lord looked upon them and he built the garden, which we know is the Garden of Eden, right? And then he plucked out of the multitudes of the wickedness of people,
to till the ground.
The man, you know what I'm saying? He brought the Adam, the man in, out of the nation of Adam. And for him to, and brought the animals and everything to him to rule over them and tend to the land and everything. And he see Adam humping and you know what I'm saying? Like, this is too much work for one man. That's when he said, you know what? I got to make him a help me.
Hey, ain't the same thing happened with Moses? And Jethro told him, you're carrying too much. Yeah. You need some help. Man, that's cool.
So the point I was trying to get to was that, what was we just reading? Verse
Ezekiel chapter 8 with Tammuz.
That's what
14.
14. Yeah. Right. So the Lord destroyed the whole earth and kept Noah, right? And his children and their wives and his wife. Thus starting the repopulation of everything after killing everybody off. the woman brought the death upon us because of her emotionalness and her oversensitivity. And here you see, you got these women still moving in that same spirit. They're giving the emotion and the love where they should.
Right.
You go outside, Eve will sit there and watch another Jake get his head beat in. But like you said, if the shoes on the other foot, they try to say that they try to stop y'all from beating up the
real enemy.
To him.
Yeah. And remember, that's the Willie Lynch. Remember, they said if you take the man away from the woman, because the woman depends on the man, he's the stronger, he's the protector. So if you take him away from the woman, her natural instinct is she needs somebody to protect her. So what she will do to survive, she will teach her child how to be feminine so he can survive. So he don't try to be a threat against the oppressor.
Don't play Superman.
Right. Don't be a threat against the oppressor, the so-called white man. So I'm gonna break you. I'm gonna feminize you, but just to make sure you stay alive. But not knowing you done broke his soul.
And you know what I'm saying? You damning him to the lake of fire.
Literally. You know he's feminine. That's 1 Corinthians 6:9.
You gotta read Maccabees 7, man. You supposed to encourage your son to die manly for the Lord.
God.
Not on his knees, groveling and begging and pleading to them people, man. Lord said, if you in order, you're gonna get your leg back on. So you're gonna spin the block.
God. Literally.
You know what I'm saying?
Everything gonna tie together, man.
Verse 16. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their face towards the east, and they worshiped the sun towards the east.
Hold on. What's important about that? Don't worship in the sun towards the east is a twofold meaning. Because the sun at first was talking about Nimrod. And then they said he reincarnated and came back as who? Tammuz. Right. So now if you look back at this picture,
look behind their head.
Yeah, look behind that. You see? And it's like it's shining like the sun. And it ties in with Semiramis, the glow on her head. Right? And Anani, same glow as well too. Start with who? Isis. It's right there. It's literally right there. And then they'll trickle on down to who? From here.
Caesar Borgia.
Yeah. Who they labeled as who? Tammuz. And it's the different names and what? Throughout the different time periods. See?
And that's crazy because when you pay attention to that, that ought to show you why people call Yahweh Shah so many different names. It's the same act of confusion that they cause him with this, but you thinking these are different deities. But no, it's the same deity, just in a different timeline.
Right. Different culture, customs, and everything.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the same God. Different language. But the same person. Now give it Yahweh Shah in no shape, form, or fashion with his name transcend to no damn Jesus.
Right.
Now, they just went all the way left field with that one.
Sweet baby Jeebus. All right. Yeah, you keep reading with that one. So that was the precept we was bringing up for Tammuz in Ezekiel chapter 8. And the Lord kept saying in that chapter, look at the wickedness and the abomination that they're doing. Like our people doing today. And y'all celebrating it on Sunday for Easter. Sun worship. You celebrating Tammuz. You celebrating Nimrod.
This ain't no isolated incident. They did the same damn thing when Moses went up on the mountain, man.
Right. And then what you just said with the golden calf, right?
Look. There you go. There. Look what's on his head.
Look, right there.
Why he got Tammuz symbol on his head.
It's the same thing, man. Can't make this up.
Now, he wants you to believe that these are all different nations of people. That's why he used the same technique on us. Scatter us everywhere and give us different names and have us worshiping all these different gods too, thinking that we different races of people.
What's that saying? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right. All them the same people. All them nations are the same nation. The Edomitic nation. They Edomites. Esau, Edom.
Yeah, you keep reading.
It was only two, right? Yeah, it's only two people. Esau and Jacob.
Yeah.
Everybody came from them. After everybody came from Adam.
They were like the saying goes, save the best for last.
Right.
The main characters are Esau and Jacob. Everybody else, all the other nations are side characters. They're just supporting characters. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, this book got a lot, man.
So they call her in Germany Eostri, the goddess of dawn.
So hold on, even in Germany?
How this image gets scattered all over the world to different people for them to see her? Because mind you, if it's a language barrier, who introduced them to this goddess and told them her name for them to even pronounce the name in their language?
Right. But remember, the Tower of Babel, when the Lord split them all up, they still kept those customs. Just in what? In different languages. And they called it different names now. All right. Here we go right here with Eos that they're talking about in Greco-Roman mythology, the personification of the dawn. Right? That's what it's talking about with Eos right here. Polytheistic religious tradition who is in some sense associated with the dawn. These deities show some relations with the morning. And you know what's crazy? Ezekiel chapter 8. What they're doing? They're weeping and what? And mourning for Tammuz. You know? Can't make this up.
It says, resurrect. It says, was the day that commemorated the resurrection of one of their gods that was named Tammuz, who was believed to be the only begotten son of the moon goddess and the sun goddess.
Hold on, man. What the hell is this? The only begotten son of the moon goddess?
Yeah.
And the sun goddess? And remember, it's going to show right here the same thing. Now, this is the thing. Right? With them, look right there. They go to the moon right there.
And you still take it back to Isis.
Uh-huh.
What do you think that is?
Right. The angle, how it is.
The gold trim is the moon.
Yeah, like
same thing with Baal. He
right.
got the same thing on his head that Isis got. Isis is just red, and theirs is yellow.
Yeah.
Like
just keep remixing it, repackaging.
Yeah, but that image would be like a moon shape, like a crescent moon.
And then it could be interchangeable now too, because all you gotta do is just change the color.
That's some BS. And it's on the charger. How the hell you do that?
Yeah, they can't make this up. Yeah, more over here too. I got 84%.
That's on Facebook.
Yeah.
when they try to talk about the damn uncircumcised heathen, man. Somebody called me on the phone. Bro, we're on live right now, too. Something might be wrong. He's trying to tell us.
Probably. Hey, Shalom, Mark. It's probably hooked to the Bluetooth. Yeah, that's true.
You got to remember, too, the average height of a person back then, and even today, average height is like 5'9". You know what I'm saying?
You hear me? Yeah, come. The sound? It was the sound, right? Okay. Oh, on Facebook? Okay. Yeah. It's good now, right? Yeah. Okay, come. The water.
Are you talking about earlier?
Yeah, you talking about earlier. Uh-huh. Okay, come. Come. What, with this video or the previous video? All right. Yeah. Okay, come. All right, the water came. Pour me shot. Yeah, so I had to call my lifeline.
What did you say was wrong?
He was talking about with the static with the previous videos and all of that. It was good now.
Oh, I thought
he said it's good now.
that.
Yeah, they it's supposed to be gone.
Yeah. So even when you think about David and Goliath, right? They want you to think Goliath was a Nephilim. No, you gotta remember the average height of a man is like 5'9", 5'8", 5'9". That's average height. So if the average height of a man is 5'8", 5'9", and you run into a guy that's 6'10" or 7 foot, of course he gonna look like a giant.
It's like Jake, how we try to exaggerate. Man, that nigga. Remember, who's that rapper? Who's that rapper with the song? He said, "I seen that nigga in my sleep."
Bushwick.
Yeah, man, that nigga was
He's
like
4
7
foot
feet,
something,
right?
and he run up on a cat that's 6 foot something.
Right.
That's a
He
giant.
gonna exaggerate. He gonna say that nigga was 10 feet. And you know how we are. We will put some extra butter on it. That nigga was 30 feet here and there, this and that.
Even when Caleb and them went over there and spied out, they came back and said them niggas.
Oh yeah, them niggas was giants, bro. We was like grasshoppers. That's hip talk.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, even then, even Caleb knew was like them damn Hamites was giants, man. Cats wasn't no damn giants. Not in the sense that they try to make them out to be. They wasn't.
Yeah, the reputation, all of that stuff as well too.
They just was large in stature.
Yeah. You know?
Crazy thing, man. It's like if you've ever been dealt with any type of psychology or sociology or any of those things, you know they'll give you ink blots. Right? And you look at the ink blots and you'll be like, oh, that look like a turtle. Oh, that look like a bird flying. That look like a butterfly.
Oh yeah, with their hands.
Yeah, they give you like these cards, and on the cards it'll just be an all black image, and they'll be like silhouettes, like shadows. And they'll be like, well, what is this? What do you see when you look at this card? It's a damn ink block, but you be like, oh, it look like a butterfly. You know what I'm saying? Like your mind, you can see things and perceive. Right. Your mind will build the perception around something. You know what I'm saying?
What you want it to be,
and make it worse or greater than what you want. It's the mind over matter thing. Like when they saw them cats, and they, like you say, they exaggerated the height. Like, oh damn, we ain't never ran into no cats this tall before.
And I remember the dude said he gave a false report, so they were scared. They didn't want to fight them in the beginning at all.
They ran off and left them actually. Yeah. And when they came back, it was only a handful that stayed with Joshua, man. Yeah, them cats got up out of there like hell.
No, finished, man. I gave a false report. You know, if y'all was scared, all right, that's in the law too. In Deuteronomy chapter 20. If you're scared, stay home.
That's what the Lord told you.
You know, don't come around and bring that fear around brothers and sisters here and there, this and that. Now you want to lie. You expect people to back up your lie and all of this stuff because you scared of battle. That nigga, the nigga 4 feet, but you see that nigga knock somebody out, and now you say that nigga 10 feet. Right, we ain't going there.
Dude, awesome. They jumped on me.
Heliodorus.
They jumped on me. You fought one dude, man.
Heliodorus.
One cat did all that to him. He thought, dang.
Remember Heliodorus? He thought the whole Judah jumped him.
Yeah.
The king was bad as hell. What the hell?
Beat him out of remembrance too. Literally. He didn't remember one person did it to him. You send them over there, they're gonna come back looking like me.
Yeah, get it
or worse.
Gonna kill him, man.
If they come back at all.
You know?
They
beat him to his next life.
Yeah. then gave his ass a what's his name?
Who?
Not yet.
Oh yeah. Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Yeah. He said not yet. He said,
come on back.
What if he died? Not yet. Well, right back up. It's like the witches in the chattering nun.
Oh
yeah. Not yet.
Kept busting her gun.
He drop her to death. Literally.
We're the order of chatting nuns. We're supposed to chat it up. Yeah.
You're gonna chat out.
Drop it.
Yeah, chat is over.
Israel understood where their power came from, but like these are the things that baffle us. Like y'all had Yahushua literally with y'all, man. The Lord was literally talking to y'all, man. And y'all still dropped the ball. He said he was gonna give everything to a nation that don't know him, but yet was gonna still keep his laws. That's us.
That faith.
We don't get none of the stuff that they got, but yet we believe.
That's Ephesians chapter 1. We heard that word. We heard the word of promise. We were sealed with the Holy Spirit. You know,
you can't even. Like I know we joke about it all the time. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna punch Saul in this damn forehead.
Yeah.
Not, you know what I'm saying, taking
Getting
care
rid
of
his
business with Agag like he's supposed to, and all the cats that was false. But then you gotta think about it. Those people are us. We are them reincarnated or regenerated.
Yeah, we back again.
You'll find Jacob there whooping his own ass. What's wrong with you? I was Saul back then. I'm the one jacked up, so I'm here. You know what I'm saying?
His self-mutilation.
Yeah.
You know?
It says, this precise belief has been applied to Mary by the Roman Catholic Church and has no basis or relevance to the Bible whatsoever.
Right? So they tying it with Mary, right? And it has no relevance to the Bible whatsoever, right? Keep reading.
Right. Easter did not originate for the sole purpose of celebrating Christ, but rather for the purpose of worshiping the mother goddess, Ishtar.
That's what it was about. That's all it's about. You worshiping gods and goddesses, pagan gods and goddesses. You worshiping the woman.
I guess you would think it's a new thing on earth if they changed the name.
Exactly. That's where the trickery comes in.
Right?
You think it's something new. You know what's crazy? Look at Moab. Moab exposing America and all the clothes and the sneakers.
Yeah,
and
right now.
the name brands, this
expensive ass clothes and purses. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same thing with this lesson. And what? The same shop. They all make the same thing for the same shop. And then all these different name brands, they do what? They take their labels and then they put it on the shirt. Put it on the sneaker. Same sneaker. And you always talk about it. When you talk about when you going shopping in the stores, this and that, man, listen. If you a person that know how to deal with clothes and shoes and everything, you could tell materials, compare it. Negro, this bro, this is the same joint. They just took this and put the label name brand in. I'm gonna get something for $15, boots, whatever, and I bet you it's gonna last longer than the one that you got for the name brand. And I'm gonna get not just one, I'm gonna get 5. Compared to that one name brand, I'm gonna get 1.
That's why I teach my son.
Yeah.
Get more out your money. You want to go in and spend all your money on one product when you can get 4, 5 things.
Right.
When that finally clicked in his head, he was like, wait a minute. I can get this, and that.
All for the same price.
This enough, and I can get all that. I'm like, yeah, you can get all of that. But you over here trying to just get this one thing. You got to get your money's worth. He was like, yeah, I want all of them. Put them back. Give me that.
You got backup for backup and all of that stuff.
They want to take our one thing and give us many.
With our Bible.
While they serve our one.
Yeah. Like that Pope. Remember the Pope? Nigga bowing down to the black Christ. Him and this and that. Why he lying to everybody?
Why you get
It's the white
Roman?
Jesus.
Here you go. He just told you in the book. Its sole purpose of celebrating Christ, but rather for the purpose of worshiping the mother goddess, right? This came in effect by the Roman Catholic Church. And we could take it all the way back to the second pope, the sixth pope, which was Rodriguez.
Yeah,
Caesar Borgia dad.
Yeah, pops. Yeah.
Right? Rodrigo Borgia, the second pope or the sixth pope of Rome.
Remember the show, the Borgia?
Right.
The Borgia.
The true crime family, the Borgias, right? The sixth pope is the one who implemented the image of Christ that y'all worship today. This dude right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude right there, man. That image comes from, that's Caesar Borgia. That's the sixth pope of Rome, or Rodrigo Borgia's oldest son, man.
Yeah, Cesare Borgia.
He, in their language, in the Spaniard, you would pronounce it Cesare.
Yeah, Cesare.
But in, I guess, the King's English, they pronounce it Caesar Borgia. But it's Cesare Borgia in Spaniard, because that's what he was, right? This image is what got passed all around the world. When you read Judah 5, right? It describes a father who was sprinkling with drip. Wisdom of Solomon, I mean,
14
and 15, who lost his son. I'm thinking about
with Judah 5,
the Ammonite.
They keep the laws.
Leave them alone.
But that's a precept with that too.
Yeah. But this is the image that they pushed all around the region. For the people who couldn't come to where he was at and worship him, so he got Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, right, to make statues and pictures of this cat. And
he turned into TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, later on these times.
Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo,
Raphael.
Right. See, and these are the cats that push that image of Caesar Borgia around the world. And then what did it say? At a time of ungodly custom,
like Easter, like Christmas,
had became accepted as the normal, bro. And they trick you into bowing down to the tree on December 25th. Right. The tree of Nimrod or Tammuz. They see how they connected.
Crazy, yeah.
You see how they connected? We already went over who that tree represents, right? But why is they telling you that on the 25th of December is Christ's birthday, and you putting up the tree that is supposed to be Nimrod?
Pine trees were, see, Nimrod's spirit lived inside of the pine tree. And if you go down here, Tammuz was born on the 25th, December 25th.
But why did he get both of those from them to Caesar Borgia?
That's the connection.
They were streamlining it.
Yeah.
We connected. Somebody realized it's too many. We got some over here, some over there. We need them all under one roof.
One package.
Right, let's wrap all that up into this one thing. This Jesus. And that's what we're gonna push, right?
The culmination.
Here come the Crusaders now. Right? Killing anything that didn't honor it. Right? Muhammad took a page out of that book.
Yeah.
When he first started his Mohammedans or whatever he called
Islam and all
the Islam and all that, right? He took a page out of that book, did the same thing. Like, you can't make this stuff up, man. This is why they say you want to hide something, man. Put it in a book, man. It's very time consuming to be able to cross-reference and do source text references and
connect the dots and all of that stuff on timelines.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? All the shows we watch that the Lord put in our path, we wasn't even thinking. We just watch it just to have an interest. History here and there, this and that, King Arthur, all of this stuff. Roman Wars and all of that, 300, Troy, all these different movies that we watch.
Because you can see it from a spiritual perspective opposed to watching it for entertainment.
Right.
Because now we know Esau uses this witchcraft for TV, right? Television programs, programming.
Tell live vision.
Right?
Tell a lie to your vision.
Yeah, he paints the picture.
Yeah.
He controls the narrative. And if you push it enough, it becomes
like a truth.
People start to believe it. Especially when you got the ability to do away with everything else that they will be able to compare against it to find out if it's true or not.
Yeah, all the truth. And now all you guys are lies.
So the Crusaders burnt all the books.
Yeah.
They kicked in everybody's doors, took all their biblical paraphernalia, right? and burnt it all out in the middle of the town until anybody get caught with any biblical paraphernalia, pamphlets, leaflets, you killing your whole damn family.
And that's First Maccabees chapter 3, 9 under the sun. It's the same thing with that as well. They burnt all the books, the Bibles, and all of that stuff. And then the men that had the knowledge, they had to kill them immediately. Because with knowledge, you don't know who got knowledge until you speak to them, until you ask them, until you interrogate them. You know? Scripture even speaks about it. A wise man could be a fool. He could play a fool. Yeah, I don't know that. Right. I ain't saying nothing. Right. Come to find out, he know the whole Bible. Look at the book of Eli. They was going after the book the whole time, not knowing he was the Bible.
And he the Bible.
Right.
Yeah, that's you, huh?
Nah, that's you, bro.
Yeah, y'all out there in Washington land.
Right.
It's Eli, man, from the book of Eli.
Brother with the Bible.
Yeah.
With the Bible. That's
the whole Bible in his head. Goddamn super supreme precept master. He one of them Moabite monk dudes that would be sitting on one, stand up on his big toe, on one leg in the air while he's standing on one toe. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Man, just touch you, break and dislocate a bone. What the hell you do to me?
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's cap, man. Definitely a precept assassin.
Yeah, we all are family. All our swords are sharp for the Lord.
It says, because worshippers of Ishtar presented her with two fertility symbols, eggs and rabbits.
Hold on. Eggs and rabbits.
These became part of the Christian Easter celebration.
See?
Because sunrise at the it's all outdoors, man.
Remember,
y'all might hear the evening. There's a gang of E's out front right now, and they out there.
Yeah, that's that
cussing.
Easter.
I don't give no F.
Think about it all the time. It's the first time like this on Easter. Yeah.
Somebody trying to fight, man. Let me look out this door, man. I hope they don't people banging it out.
It is hatch of any bee. Frozen egg. Yeah, you see, family, that's what we did with.
There's 3 Eves standing out there. One just like there. One of them punched the other one in the face. She talking about some, I don't want to fight you. You my best friend. Why would I fight you? Apparently, you not her best friend.
Yeah, not today.
She done punched you in your smitty twice and still standing there trying to provoke her to fight even more. See, you gotta be careful who you call, who you put these titles on. Lord say, prove a friend. Don't be so quick to give them a title, man, in haste. Because they'll be your friend for their own occasion.
Yeah, stuff with the fan, they nowhere to be
found. Nowhere to be found, man. And if she was really her real friend and saw her in that fashion as you see her, she'd have never punched you in the face. Like, I'm not gonna punch my friend in the face. You know what I'm saying?
No sympathy.
I'm gonna start a war with my friend. I can't be.
Spirit. Yeah, that's that spirit of Easter. Can't make this up. Been here for a while. We ain't never seen no craziness like that around this time.
And they right out front. Like nobody hardly even come down this block. We the only people who be out on the block besides Billy and the Issachar and them across the street. You don't see no other people from this block outside. Ain't no kids on this block or none of that. So they apparently they from a different block. Let's back to the It says because sunrise at the beginning of spring was the holiest day in the Mithraic calendar, next to December 25th. The practice of Easter sunrise services continue on in Christianity.
So what they said, Mithraic calendar, right?
Yeah.
So look at this. Mithra.
See that?
Right there.
All right, y'all looking at that, right?
See? All of this is tying together. And we already know Bacchus. And Maccabees.
Yeah. Young Bacchus.
Young Bacchus. So you got Mithra right there, and now you got Bacchus right there as well too. And look, let's start. Osiris, Isis, and Horus. So even for the Egyptian aspect,
And them two was supposed to have been brothers or something like
Yeah.
that. They said
they even had the move. Remember, the gods of Egypt.
gods of Egypt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Horus and what's his name? Supposed to have been brothers.
And he had the eye too as well, and all of that stuff.
And then Horus ruled over Hades,
Yeah,
right? Which is supposed to be what, like hell?
like the bottom, the pit,
Yeah, the
hell,
pit,
and all
yeah,
of that
supposed to be
stuff.
like hell.
No, I think that was Anubis. Was it Anubis? Because Horus had the eye, like the sun here and there, this and
Yeah.
that. Osiris.
I thought in that
Osiris.
movie they said Horus ruled over Hades.
Was it Horus?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. It might be Anubis, but I thought it was Horus. But even still, they give his name the devil.
God, literally to this day. And you see, that's Egypt. That's Egyptian customs right there. So the Lord giving us the knowledge to even speak about these different customs and heritage of these other nations and things we have watched, and now we're able to edify and teach the people according to what's going on. So like I said, with the Mithra calendar, all of this stuff like Mithra right there, it's all tying into connected together.
This is why it's so important for people to tune in to the classes, and if you're able to, like, I know you'll get a bunch of questions in your head that you can either put them in the timelines or, in the comment sections. But brothers ain't really watching the comment sections because you surfing through different pictures and through books.
Yeah.
That the comments in the timeline in the chats is not really being able to be touched right now. But that's why you come to the camp locations and you can ask your questions in depth detail, get the full breakdowns. Like the brothers don't have time to really extend a breakdown and tie all this together for one person when you got 30 people, 40, 50 people, in some cases hundreds of people on the live, all asking questions.
You got to jump with this.
Yeah, you're not going to get a definitive answer that way because we on time schedule. But when you at camp, you come there and stand there. We camp 4, 5, 6 hours. You can come there and get every question you got damn near answered. Problem with watching on the lives is that you're gonna develop questions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like I was just saying, we ain't got time to really go into the full breakdown on all of that. You know what I mean? So you want to get your questions answered.
Yeah, tune into the class.
Tune up. You got to come to camp.
God.
You come to camp consistently. Brothers will give you the links to the classes, because we can't just give them to anybody to jump into the classes online and stuff. Then you don't understand being in order and doing things with decency. You know what I'm saying? And be on there.
Cause confusion, all of that stuff.
So camp will give you a chance to really express what you think you feel or what you think you know. Get corrected on it. If you're humble enough, you'll respect it and accept that correction. Then you'll be able to move on to the next level where you can actually be in these classes and you can learn this. The reason why I'm saying that is because people say, "Oh, I read this, I read that, this, that, and the other," but you'll only go as far as your understanding will take you. What happens when you run into that wall of books and you don't know where to go from that point? Like right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't get all the answers if you don't know what's the next step to look at. What should I be looking at? Like how I'm sitting here breaking down the whole situation with Easter. Your common sense is, that some people are rabbit can't lay an egg. That's as far as they understanding goes.
Right, that's like basic thing.
You know what I mean? But you don't know how or where to go to obtain all the rest of this information.
Right. Organizing it and everything.
And that's what happens with a lot of our people when they come up to us at camp. They come with a dead end understanding. They only was able to go so far in their search for the knowledge. And then they hit a brick wall because they don't know what book to go to next, right? And to continue growing. So you got to find people that's learned in those subject matters to take you further. That's why as an Israelite, you need to be a part of a camp. This is why as an Israelite, you need elders and senior men who got years in this beyond you. You know what I'm saying?
And that's really trying to help you. Like really, sincere. We don't want your money. We don't want this and that, whatever. We really want to teach and help the people. That's real, like you were saying. That's real.
You got a lot of brothers out here, and that's a pride thing, to humble yourself down and allow somebody to teach you. The Lord said the first oracles of the Lord is someone got to teach
you. Yeah, Hebrews 5:12.
So before you can start gaining really true knowledge, you can read all day long. But you're more than likely you're gonna lean to your own understanding. Why? Because I'm only reading this one book. I don't know that this book ties into this book.
And
I can pull that book. You see what I'm saying? And find literally the same thing, because why? You don't know that some of these people all existed at the same time. He was probably from the east side, she was from the west side, he was from the north side. They was in the same time frame as each other.
Separated or different.
And they all given their understanding from their perspective of the same subject matters. You know? Same way the police do, man. It's a car accident. 4 people on the corner. They're gonna give 4 different perspectives.
Stories, right?
And from those 4 stories, because the 2 in the accident gonna lie. We got 4 witnesses from 4 different angles. We'll be able to put what they say together and we'll get the truth. That's called diligent inquisitions, man. But you don't know that from reading the Holiday Hustle. You don't know how to tie what's in this book to the Bible, right? And then go over here and reference it from
2 Babylons,
a whole nother book that's got subject matters that's context based for this. Let alone go online and pull up stuff as well. Like, there's so many different sources for you to pull information from, but you don't know how to connect those dots. Right? So this is why it's important, man, to tune into these classes. And if you can, come out to camp, because the class itself should make your head have 1,000 questions.
Right. Literally. Oh snap! What about that? What about this?
Cats get angry because they show up at court under that same mindset. I mean, I said court, but it might as well be camp.
It is court too. Yeah. Remember, Ecclesiastes 5:1. The Lord said, "Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God." You know, and be more ready to hear than to give a sacrifice of fools.
And that be the problem. They run up with their incomplete understanding and wisdom and knowledge, man. And then we kind of veer them in the right direction, and they get offended.
Who are you to tell me it? Yeah, right. Nigga, you ain't no Israelite. You nigga from the projects.
Yeah, you think y'all niggas think y'all know everything, man. And then they go to blaspheme in the name of the Lord in an effort to try to hurt us. And don't realize you're not hurting me by saying that. You see how effeminate that is, though, bro? Like, because you done got cut up because you come up thinking you know something and you get found to not know a damn thing. Now you want to turn into a 3-year-old second grader or something and want to say some off stuff to try to trigger or get somebody in a hostile argumentative situation face with you, bro. So, because the Ishtar Easter celebration was held each spring on a Sunday.
Hold on.
See, even that's a problem.
You at the part with the resurrection one?
We already went through that.
What part is that?
The pagans believed in a God that was resurrected each spring on Easter.
Right. And then what's the other one with the Easter Sunday? Or the Sunday?
That's this night.
That's the one right there.
Next paragraph. Yeah, these celebrations held each spring on Sunday. Close to the vernal equinox, the ascension or rise of Christ was changed from 40 days after Passover, as told us in the Bible, to the annual Easter celebration. All this began with the Ishtar and Tammuz legend.
So what did they do? They mixed the pagan customs of the heathens with the Hebrew Israelite custom. They mixed it, they intertwined it. Now, I just want to touch on 2 quick things with the resurrection. Because they talk about the ascension. Yeah, it's confusion. Because if you want to trick somebody, mix a little lie with the truth.
And you don't know that it's confusion because you don't have the base understanding of the knowledge of the subject matter.
You don't know the beginning. You don't know who came, this and that, how they got repackaged, remixed. That's why I brought out the example with China, with the items and all of that. The same sneaker, like you always talk about, the stores and all of that, the materials, you pay attention to the material. The damn the sewing, the threads and all of that stuff. So you're like, bro, I could buy this and buy 10 of these for the same price you want to buy this for. Right. And your joint don't even last.
Yeah, make it yourself.
Right. Yep. I got like 6 pairs that could last for 10 years straight. But what happens? Esau, America's getting exposed. China is telling people the same Jordan sneakers and the same FUBU, whatever, they all the same stuff.
35
the labels just came in.
$2 to make these damn shoes.
Literally.
You selling them to people for $350.
$350. Come on, man. The Jordans and all of that. You know how many people die for them sneakers on the line? Waiting for them? How many dudes got robbed?
Yeah.
Gucci and all of that, these different clothing name brands and all of that.
Now, why did the Lord have Esau, Moab expose that? Because that's got a hold on Israel.
It's a stronghold.
It's a stronghold on Israel, man.
And even Nike is speaking about the Greek goddess.
Now you're right. Yeah. He is a Greek god.
Yeah.
Named Nike.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't even know that.
Right. Even the car. Look at the car Nissan. Nissan is speaking about what? The Hebrew month Nissan. All right. I'm gonna get two precepts with the resurrection. First, I'm gonna show one with Christ. This is what Christ did for Lazarus. Right? John chapter 11. They try to talk about Tammuz as the resurrection. No. The original resurrection was Yahweh. Right? John chapter 11 and verse number John chapter 11 verse 41.
Book of John chapter 11 and verse 41. Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid. And Jesus lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me.
All right, read on. He didn't say Osiris.
Right. Then they took away the verse 42. And I knew that thou heardest me always, but because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me.
Right. Verse 43.
And when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave's cloth, and his face was bound about with a napkin. Jesus said unto them, loose him and let him go.
Right. So what did he do? He resurrected Lazarus.
Even with the coat. That's the same thing with
the coat. Loose him and let him go. Because he have need of him. Right? They talking about with Mithra, they talking about Tammuz and all this stuff. The third day, the Sunday of resurrection. First, I'm gonna show you Christ resurrected somebody first. And then I'm gonna show you Christ being resurrected by the Lord himself.
That's why he said that he's showing your works that they'll believe in him.
That he sent me.
Yeah.
Right? And who else did a resurrection as well too? You even had speaking about that resurrected somebody, Elijah with the famine. Remember the boy when he was with the woman and a son that was dead? He stretched his arm over her 3 times, and then she became resurrected. He became resurrected in 1 Kings 17. Yeah, 1 Kings 17 with the famine, and then the Lord sent Elijah to the woman, and she had a last meal. She was about to die with her and her son, and Elijah resurrected the kid. You know, 1 Samuel 17. That whole chapter speaking about that. So now, who else? You even got Paul. Paul got resurrected by the Lord. They stole him. He died. He got resurrected.
I believe he drowned at sea too.
Yeah, and he got resurrected. But who did the resurrection first? It was Yahweh. God. Matthew chapter 28. Just to prove that. Matthew 28 and verse 1.
Book of Matthew chapter 28 and verse 1. In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn towards the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre.
Right? End of the Sabbath. Right? And it says the first day of the week. So hold on. It said the end of the Sabbath. Right?
Which is Saturday.
Which is Saturday. And what's the next day after that?
First day of the week, which is Sunday.
Which is Sunday.
Damn, that's a cut.
But hold on. I thought the holy day, right?
Yeah, that's a cut.
See what I'm saying? But I thought the holy day was hold on, brother. The holy last day is Sunday.
Yeah.
Easter badge. I thought the holy day was day of God, the day of the Lord. The sun's the day of the sun. Not knowing you doing sun worship every Sunday.
Go on.
Yeah, come.
Verse 2. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for the angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat up on it.
That's the angel. It didn't say Osiris. It didn't say Anubis. It didn't say Horus. It said the angel of the Lord did that.
His countenance was like lightning, and his raiment white as snow.
All right, read on.
And for fear of him, the keepers did shake and became as dead men.
Right? Yeah. Literally dropped that.
Oh, Esau said he beat 3 angels with a carjacker.
Oh yeah, with a carjacker, right? Hell out of here. He about the Heliodorus about. Yeah. A damn liar.
Right. No. And the angel answered and said unto the woman, fear not ye, for I know that ye seek Jesus, which was crucified. He is not here, for he is risen.
For he is what?
He is risen.
For he is risen. Read on.
As he said, come, see the place where the Lord lay.
See? So the angel came down to give the confirmation. He moved the stone out of the cave and was telling her that, listen, he's not here. His body is not here. He has risen. He has been resurrected. Right? Verse 10.
Then said Jesus unto them, be not afraid. Go tell my brethren that they go into Galilee, and there shall they see me.
Right. So that's speaking about Christ. He resurrected, but I show you the first example. He resurrected Lazarus to show that, and then the Lord resurrected him. All right. And I'll cut with the Mithra and all of that stuff. They talk about the third day, if this was going on. Nah. You're lying on your coach. And then you could finish with the rest of the book.
This is a traditional Easter egg dyeing, right?
Come.
The act of coloring eggs is tied to the idea of rebirth and resurrection. While egg decorating kits offer adults and kids a vibrant and enthused meaning of decorating today, but do anyone truly question or ask their pastor in church, what and where did this tradition come from?
Yeah.
And dare you to ask, can't they show you where it's located in the Bible?
Right. Where's the tradition of the egg?
Yeah, because y'all making it like this is a biblical thing.
Right.
So it should be listed in the scriptures then. Right? The true historical link between dyeing and eggs was traditionally first or originally made by using the color red. Among the Christians, red symbolizes the blood of Jesus. Now, eggs are dyeing in a variety of colors due to the financial commercialization of this pagan day.
Right. And the color, why they dyed the color red? Because red also symbolized blood. What are they trying to tie with the egg? With the fertility. Sacrifice. Who's the sacrifice? The children is being sacrificed. That's the blood sacrifice.
That's what we was talking about earlier, with them eating the eggs.
Yeah,
like
with them eating the eggs.
From a spiritual perspective, that egg was literally a safety for an embryo.
Right.
Under the right conditions, that egg that you cooked or boiled and ate would have turned into another living animal.
So now, with that child being sacrificed, this is the book right here, The Two Babylons. All right, The Two Babylons by Alexander Hislop. All right, this is page 101. We can go to Israel. They killing Easter, everything. They going in. And this whole chapter is about the egg. This whole chapter right here is about the egg.
You got to remember too, in respect of accuracy from point of view perspective, you got to understand back in antiquity, all the top scholars, that's what they did. They got together and shared the knowledge
and the information.
They went on journeys around the damn world seeking out the mysteries and answers, and then they come right back and they convene in one of their damn dungeon rooms somewhere, and they share all the information with each other. Then they all go forth and write their own books and their own scrolls and all of that. This is why you can see such a clear representation of the subject matter in various books. You got to understand timelines and who existed in those timelines. That'll help you tremendously when you syncing up books to the Bible. Right? That's why we always say the Bible is real, and we can prove it with history, archaeology, sometimes geography, and just with the Bible within itself. The words that it speaks, it takes you on a time travel journey back into the past and gives you a glimpse into the future of what's going to happen. And it also gives you a very clear depiction of what's happening right now. Everything that's happening on this earth was written in this Bible thousands of years ago when it was written to be considered a prophecy, a future prophecy. Now that future prophecy is our end time living. Right now, we're living in what was once prophesied in the past to happen today.
But they think we making it up. And we didn't just write the Bible today. Yeah, you can read the highlights out. Right. And this is just about the eggs, right? We didn't write this book. All right.
Don't get mad at us. The symbols is for the conscious mind. Right. The hot cross buns are not now offered, but eaten on the festivals of Astarte.
Hold on. Eating on the festival of Astarte. What's Astarte? They speak my Ishtar. All right. And they talk about the hot cross bun. I speak about the bread where they put the cross in the middle of the bread.
Is that in Greek?
Let me show you. Right.
And you know another thing that's crazy? Is this talking about in the
Dionysus?
Dionysica.
Yeah.
You know he mentioned in here too.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying?
It all connects.
Timbuktu, you can read about Dionysica in the Timbuktu. Rudolph Windsor's book. You just see how we read out of this book, but we go to this book, and this book is saying and telling you the same things that this author wrote. Now, while reading in this book, he's quoting the same things that you can find said by a scholar in a whole nother book. That's called comparative text.
Cross-reference.
Cross-references. Diligent inquisition, man.
And this right here, Astarte. Astarte is a Hellenized form of the ancient Near Eastern goddess Atart. Atart was the Northwest Semitic equivalent of the East Semitic goddess.
So that means they were dark-skinned. They tell you right there, they dark-skinned, melanated people.
So look what's crazy. You said Astarte, right? And look, it says Atart was the Northwest Semitic equivalent of the East Semitic goddess. They took the same thing and brought it north,
they
west,
see that
east,
on the
south.
Screen?
Yeah. Yeah. I got the screen share.
Yeah, for those of y'all who don't see what we're sharing, you have to go to the HOI Chicago YouTube channel. And you can watch the video that we're filming right now on there, and you can be able to see what's actually being shared on the screen.
And look what it said about Astarte. Goddess of war, beauty, hunting, and love. They mix Artemis with Aphrodite.
See that? She was a damn hunter.
Yeah, and a hunter. It's the same thing. Yeah, you can read with the highlights.
It says, but eaten on the festival of Astarte. But this leaves no doubt as to whence they have been derived. The origin of the Passat egg is just as clear. The ancient Druids.
Whoa. The ancient Druids.
Mm-hmm.
So hold on. Let's look up Druids. Boy.
Even Moab got a jade egg.
God.
That they worship the damn egg too, man. That damn jade egg green with all the emeralds and rubies and diamonds all wrapped around.
The jade egg. Yeah, the king. The king. Like the Jade Emperor.
Yeah. You get into Chinese history, you'll see that they saying the same things.
God. And look, tying with Druids and witches. So they talk about with the Druids with the egg. The Druids was known as like witches, sorcerers as well too. So what they doing with the egg? Because guess what? In Babylon, in the Talmud with Amalek, he'll put a curse on somebody and he'll use the egg like a sacrifice, and he'll sacrifice the child. So it's the same thing. What are you doing with the egg? They're putting a curse on you. They're putting a spell on you.
You will watch that
sacrifice
movie,
a child.
Spaceballs.
Oh yeah.
And there, Mel Gibson, or whatever his name is, the guy who made the movie, he, not Mel Gibson, Mel something Rourke or something like that. In there, he had a nation of people who were called Druids from the planet Druidia. Right? So you can even go and see in the movie how they were depicting them too. It says the ancient Druids bore an egg as the sacred emblem of their order in the Dionysica or mysteries of Bacchus.
Hold on. Wait, hold on.
See?
Hold on. Wait, what's going on here?
How come all these pagan gods are being referenced in respects to the God before them? Because these are you going down the timeline from one generation of people to the next. Now who sits next to Bacchus on that list? Mithra.
Yeah.
We just read about Mithra and show you how it tied in. Now we go to another text source and it's telling you that Bacchus was a part of this too. So this is what we're talking about when you understand the people who existed in the same timeline, in the same time period. And them all giving their references to what was happening. It's like something major happening in your city, and the people from the west side, somebody from the east side, somebody from the north side, somebody from the south side, all writing a book about and mentioning that same incident.
And the most dangerous person is the one that can connect them all.
Connect them all
because
together.
now he know which one is which time, which sequence, here and there, this and that. A person just me, you think it is 4 different people timelines, they can make a story, whatever. Mm-hmm. But if you're able to connect them all, now they got the whole big picture.
And the thing is, don't forget, we're not giving credence to these people and saying that they are different races. What we're telling y'all is these are all the same people. Primarily those generations of the Edomites. And when you read books like this, the Roman Empire, right? The Empire of Edomites, it tells you in their own book that they were nomads and vagabonds.
Yeah.
This is why they got so many damn names, because every time they took over a geographical landmass, they tried to become them people, right? Kill off the people who saved, and they assimilate themselves and replace them and put their title and their name and their images up everywhere and make you think that they're a whole different group of people, when the whole time these are the only people who has no land on this earth, nowhere to call their own. So they go around stealing everybody else's land, stealing everybody's culture, stealing their languages, right? That's what they do.
So when you was talking about with Bacchus, his highlights right here. Second Maccabees.
Right. See, and this is during the time of the Greeks, when the Israelites was fighting against them. Something you ain't gonna hear about. Right. See, 300 BC.
And look,
with Zeus,
it's right there.
And then
it's literally right there.
It says, not long after this, the king sent an Salaki. This is Second Maccabees in the Apocrypha, which means hidden books. All right. It says, and this is chapter 6, and starting in verse 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens, right? Short for Athena, right? To compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of God, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter, Olympus.
Hold on, Jupiter, Olympus. What do Olympus got to do with that? Olympus ties into what? Zeus, Poseidon, Ares, and all that
and
stuff.
Gymnastics.
And look, and look, see, Jupiter was the supreme god of the Romans and the Latins, revered as the god of the sky and the thunder. And look, it's right here. See, it's Zeus. They just interchange it. That's him. That is him. He had another name. And they said for the Romans. But now, hold on, it's in the time of the Greeks. So what is a Roman custom being brought into the time of the Greeks? Yeah, because they're interchanging it. And it's like that TV show, Spartacus. Remember they always cursing in the show? They say, Jupiter's. They always cursing in that show. They say the same exact thing. Once you understand the connection, you see how deep this goes with Easter. It's literally a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Literally, that's crazy.
That thing is like a motor. You get to connecting them dots, and you don't want to pull away. You just keep diving in deeper and deeper.
So look, they said Jupiter, also known as Lupertor, was a supreme god of the Romans and Latins, revered as the god of the sky and thunder. Who's also known as the god of sky and thunder? Zeus.
Everybody know that.
But they called him Jupiter. And you see, look what it says. Similar to his Greek counterpart, which is Zeus. So they're literally repackaging it.
Watch this. To whatever point y'all take from it. This is what it says. This is in the Roman Empire, right? The empire of the Edomites. You're talking about Jupiter. It says, as of one who thought exalted to the highest heaven, is yet cognizant of the doings and greatly interested in the welfare of his brethren upon the earth, the Simo Sanctus of the Latins appeared to be the Jupiter Indiges, or Janus, in another form.
Bro.
Who is Janus? Right? Janus is short for January. The God that says is looking to the future and the past. He got two faces. But he just said that Jupiter is Janus in another form. For if we read the Hebrew, Shana, with the hard and ha and ha, then Shimo, Shanaku, Simo Sanctus will signify his name. Have they changed the deity of the changed name?
Look at that. They keep changing it around.
That's what they do.
Daniel 7:25. That's the highlight. Daniel 7:25. They change times and all of this.
See that? Lord already told y'all that's what Esau was gonna do. Because remember, right? He's a vagabond. The man is wanted for all type of. He's a damn wanted fugitive, man.
You don't want to be caught.
Man, you look at the damn Japanese. He's the last samurai.
Literally. Hey, even Amalek got exposed in Japanese culture. They said he was the Oni.
Yeah.
They say he was the Oni.
How? You ain't even part of it. Yeah. Even with Gad and Reuben them, man. Yeah, he's the last Mohican.
He's the last Mohican.
Like, how the hell are you the last of everybody else's race, man? He want to be everybody but a damn Edomite because he know that there's no place for him.
Vagabond.
He's a damn vagabond.
That's why you got to keep switching the names. Even the gods that he worship, you got to keep switching around, repackaging them.
In this book, it tells you about how when we made him take flight and we was whooping on his ass so bad that the man created a holiday to the Most High, thanking him for not letting us tear his ass up. He thanked the Lord for letting him get away from us, man. The first place he ran to was Italy, right, with the Italians. Did whatever he did, took over them people's land, and then a ship one day came back home, and the people getting off the ship looking at him like, who the hell is you? What you doing over here in our land? Esau, time to go pack it up. The man gathered his people and hit the sea and got little up out of there. And that's what he did. He go from place to place, conquering and taking over people's land, and then claim their damn nationality, man. Remember, and their identities.
The Egyptian president said it, Saddam Gamasid or something.
Something like that, yeah.
He said that the real Jews left black. They came back white.
This is 1948, the Balfour Declaration, right? It was one of the earliest forms of the United Nations coming together. And you had all the nations of melanated people from over there in the homeland of Jerusalem who was like, hell no.
Right.
We aren't going to allow you to take the motherland, Jerusalem, right, Zion, and give it to no damn Ottoman Turks.
They don't belong
there. AKA Gog, right? Gog and Magog. You know, give our land to the Turkish people, which we know as the Khazarian converts.
And there's a Netflix show called Ottoman.
The Ottoman, yeah.
Yeah. That joint is fire.
You wanted this too? 5 or 6?
Yeah. The highlight one.
Sure. The second Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 5. The altar also was filled with profane things which the law forbid. Verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath day or ancient feast, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
And why they emphasize ancient feast? Because as
Israelites, all the way back to the Israelites.
We was keeping our feast days the whole time.
Right. It says verse 7. And in the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraints.
It was force.
Force, yeah.
Right?
Like you can pull up historical footages and you'll see them literally tying down one of the Israelites with a damn funnel.
Right.
Stuck the funnel down his throat and was pouring pork juice and slop down his man's throat.
The movie Antioch, the book Antioch.
Like they understood what defiled us and what would make the Lord not deal with us, right?
Shit, look at the movie Birth of a Nation.
Yeah.
Where they jacked the dude's mouth up and broke his tooth and all that and stuff. They have funnel into it.
Yeah, forced it down his throat, man. It says, and when the feast of Bacchus.
The feast of what?
Bacchus. Right? AKA who we just read he was in that other book?
Yeah, Bacchus. Who he said the other one was Janus.
Who actually is known as Janus?
Yeah. Let me see. Or is this one? This the one right here. Yeah, this the one with Bacchus. There we go, right there.
Yeah, that's because but I was pulling it up in here with
Jupiter.
Yeah, with Jupiter, showing how they the same person. Yeah, there you go, right there. Page 78.
You see, we're connecting. That's why we say it's not just Easter, it's deeper than Ishtar. Once you understand the trilateral connection, the Trinity, as you would call it, on the left-hand side, it's like a rabbit hole. That's why we say, silly rabbit tricks off the kid.
And here's the thing, too, because I'm going to read it again. It says, the hot cross buns are not now offered, but eating on the festival of Astarte, right? Mm-hmm. Keep that in mind. But this leaves no doubt as to whence they have been derived. The origin of the Pesach egg is just as clear. The ancient Jewish born egg as the sacred emblem of their order in the Dionysiaca or mysteries of Bacchus. That or emphasizes the one, the oneness of them.
But look, same thing with Astarte.
As celebrated in Athens.
Same thing with Astarte. See? They say Astarte was the Northwest Semitic equivalent of the East Semitic goddess Ishtar. So it was the same thing. The same thing that they had on the north, they had also in the east.
Now I gotta read now. Mind you, when you think about the north and the east, it's safe to say they had it in the south and in the west as well. But what you're gonna find out is, and I'm gonna read it for you, and we just mentioned it a minute ago. I didn't even know it was in this book. I'm gonna read it because we know all these people exist in one area, right, but they north, they south, and east and west of each other, right? It says, as celebrated in Athens, one part of the nocturnal ceremony consisting in the consecration of an egg, right? The Hindu fables celebrate their mundane egg as of the golden color. The people of Japan make their sacred egg to have been brazen. In China, at this hour, dyed or painted eggs are used for sacred festivals, even as in this country, in ancient times, eggs were used in the religious rites of the Egyptians and the Greeks and were hung up for mystic purposes in their temples. Why didn't you say the Israelites was dealing with none of that?
And now here go the quick cut right here. Even for that.
It says these sacred eggs can be distinctly traced to the banks of the Euphrates. The classic poets are full of the fables of the mystic eggs of the Babylonians. And thus it tells told by Hyginus, the Egyptians, and learned keeper of the Palatine Library at Rome in the time of Augustus Caesar, right? Who was skilled in all the wisdom of his native country. So he just shows you how they kept it in different regions.
Same customs.
But it's just showing you how all the heathens worshiping the same person. But none of them is worshiping Yahweh.
Now here's the precept right here. First Maccabees 1:41.
It says, First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandments of the king. And we just read how all the heathens are keeping the same customs.
You see how quick they are to keep it? Because they all follow the same spirit.
Yeah.
And they can't keep the laws of the Lord.
And spiritually, we never would have followed after them customs. They forced all them customs on us.
God.
Right? When you read in the Babylon Timbuktu, it tells you that everywhere we went, we carried our customs with us.
Yeah. Torah, instructions.
And
we absorb everybody else. Everybody else.
Yeah, they assimilate amongst us. And that's what made us better than everybody else. Right? Let me see if I can find that real quick. What is that page?
I think it's around 80 something.
86.
It's like at the bottom. Somewhere around the bottom. It's where it shows the kings, who was kings, treasurers.
Yes, it's like 80 something.
Spartacus and said Bacchias. Yeah, man. All these shows, man, it's crazy. You go back to it, and they telling on themselves. You just got to put the pieces together.
Now listen to this.
Yeah, that's
now you heard it. It's page 90. Now this is the Babylon to Timbuktu. All right. Rudolph Windsor. It says, this is page 90. It says, the Jews made use of every opportunity. They were an industrious and skillful people. In the Jewish Guyanian state were found kings, princes, governors, generals, secretaries, treasurers, revenue agents, judges, architects, engineers, doctors, historians, language interpreters, mathematicians, jewelers, sculptors, masons, carpenters, painters of art, goldsmiths, leather workers, potters, armorers, saddlers, blacksmiths, agriculturalists, etc. Now, why when we read through all these other books about these heathens, you don't hear none of this type of information about them? Because what we say in the beginning of this lesson, when we started, the whole earth is dumb as hell. The only people who had intelligence were the Israelites, the people who the Lord gave the law, statutes, and commandments to. His wisdom, his knowledge from that Holy Spirit. That's why we dominated everywhere we went. We carried our laws with us everywhere we went.
And that's in Deuteronomy chapter, I think it's chapter 4 and 6. It says, so why is a nation like these people? You know?
God. It says the black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes. They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them. This assured them a constant precedent for the development of a higher social organization. That's why Deuteronomy 7 and 6 tell you that we're above all nations.
Literally.
We're better than everybody else. We got the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High.
And we're the chosen.
That's the reason why they put our ass in slavery, because of this. It said that they carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them everywhere we went. We set up shop. So when they stole us and put us into slavery and all of that type of stuff, they took our records and our history and everything from us. Yeah, like
Hey, and that second Maccabees. What was the first verse of second Maccabees chapter 6? What was the plan? They said it right here. Not long after this, the king of sent unto the old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers.
Why
That was the
would we do
plan.
that the whole time? Now, why would we do something like that?
Yeah. That was the plan.
Disconnect us from our God. That way they can shovel whatever they want down our throat, right? It says, an egg of wondrous size is said to have fallen from heaven into the river Euphrates.
Mm.
The fishes rolled it to the banks, where the doves, having sitting on it and hatched it, out came Venus, who afterwards was called the Syrian goddess, that is Astarte.
See?
Named and changed again.
Yeah. You see? And it said out came Venus. So they're saying what? A planet descended through the egg onto the earth as a human being. And you know what's crazy? Here goes the cut. 1 Corinthians chapter 14. 1 Corinthians chapter 14. Because we always talk about this. Paul talks about
14 and what?
I got it. It's like it. 1 Corinthians chapter 15. It's the one about the celestial body. I'm going to show it.
13.
I think it's around 30 something. Chapter 15 verse. Here we go. Verse number 30 now.
Right there, too. I'm literally going to say you want. I got my pen
Yeah,
stuck right
around
there. All is this is 1 Corinthians 15 and 39. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds.
They're speaking about the water and the fishes and the doves, right?
Right.
You know.
There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial.
Right. You know.
But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another.
So that's heavenly and earthly.
All right. That's your spirit being one body, right? Mm-hmm. The one that was originally created by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Yeah. And was sent down here on earth to inhabit the terrestrial body.
Now, read the next verse. We're going to cut it.
Right. There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars.
Of the what?
The stars.
What about Venus?
One of these damn planets, which is basically they call them stars.
Right.
Right. For one star differeth from another star in glory.
So how the hell did Venus descend onto the earth through an egg and here and there and become a different vessel?
Wait, like you gotta say it. Landed in the ocean.
Landed in the ocean.
Damn
the planet,
fish.
The planet.
The fish rolled it up to the riverbanks, and then the birds took it and they went and sat on it. And when it hatched, Venus come out.
Venus come out. You think we stupid?
You can't make this up, man. These people is God damn stop the madness, man. But see, this is a part of the confusion, so a person could never catch on
because they don't connect it. You don't connect the dots.
Right? You're gonna learn to appreciate your Israelite brothers who do all this research and try to give this information to y'all, because y'all know damn well y'all ain't out there seeking out this information, man. Y'all content with just saying I'm an Israelite.
They're gonna believe anything Esau says.
Right? I'm an Israelite, and that's enough for them. They think just waking up to the fact and knowing and saying that I'm an Israelite is enough. Oh man, this is your history. We just read that we carried our history, our culture, our laws, everything with us. The sad part is our generations didn't get to grow up with that because it was stolen from us. You should be damn angry. I'll steal your car right now. You're going to want me to go to jail. You're going to show up to every damn court date. If you can get your hands on me, you're going to try to beat me half to death. But here we showing you a whole race of people that stole everything from you. That's why you at the bottom and you living like trash. And y'all ain't even mad about it. To the contrary, you Negroes would rather get mad at us for telling you this.
And try to kill us.
For telling you this.
And we breaking it down for you. We teaching you. We give you edification for free.
The pastor damn sure ain't told you none of this. None of this. Because he palm getting greasy on the back end.
Yeah, we live. Yeah. Huh?
No, YouTube.
Nah, it's YouTube.
And Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook. Yeah, on HY Chicago.
Yeah,
The
my
Facebook as
phone was
well.
live. We'll have a third site too. We'll be
Yeah.
on another program too. We can film on multiple platforms.
Yeah.
That's
This is
crazy,
crazy.
man.
Venus come down, the bird, the vessel, the egg, here and there. The whole planet descended
Damn.
on down and become Ishtar.
It was in
Who's
the care.
Ishtar?
It was in the care of fishes and birds.
Yeah.
And we said, if then the world is seen shut up in an egg,
So now, you see?
you know what that is?
What?
It's firmament.
Yeah. And
Talking
you see
about the firmament.
that right there too.
Cut on all you cats talking about the earth ain't flat, man.
Yeah.
The earth is round.
Because
Damn
remember
right.
how the shape is and all of that stuff is like the top of an egg.
The dome.
Yeah.
Right?
Shalom.
If then the world is seen shut up, he said, I will divide. He built the firmament to divide the waters from above from the waters below. Shut up in an egg and floating on the waters.
What else is floating?
It may not be difficult to believe. However, the idea of the egg may have come that the egg thus floating on the wide universal sea might be Noah's family that contained the whole world in its bosom. Then the application of the word egg to the ark comes thus. The Hebrew name for an egg is baitz. B-A-I-T-Z. Baitz.
It's like bait.
Or bites.
Yeah.
Or in the feminine, for there are both genders. Bites. This is the Chaldee and Phoenician. Chaldee, short for Chaldeans.
Yeah.
Right? That's where Abraham comes from.
The Phoenician.
Right? Become Baeth or Baetha, which is these languages, is also the usual way in which the name of the house is pronounced.
See? And you know what they say? Be'etha. That's speaking about Bayaf.
Yeah.
That's in Paleo Hebrew. Like Ba ties into Bayaf. Bayaf is speaking about a house. Da, which is Dalah, speaking about a door. So look, think about it. You got to know Hebrew. So not only do you got to know their culture.
Oh no, because no, we ain't got to learn Hebrew. Your house shall teach us the language when he come back. This is what Jake them love. Y'all think y'all so because y'all know some Paleo Hebrew, man. That ain't crazy. We don't need that right now. That ain't gonna get you to the kingdom.
Okay.
That's why you can't get no understanding, man. Because your language, even in the Bible, is Hebrew in the Bible.
Literally. The whole song. It shows it. But think about that, huh? They said bayaf in the door here and there. Mm-hmm. So if you understand the Paleo Hebrew bayaf, which is door or house, and then you understand dalaf, which is bayaf, which is house, dalaf, which is door, like for da, and then you understand they talking about the egg, and then it's symbology, and then they talking about with Noah. How can you break it down? You don't understand that. And then the culture we speak about earlier with the other nations, they're all around. You got to understand location. Why you think every nation have their own what? Story of the flood.
Exactly.
You see?
The timeline.
Yeah.
They all exist around the same timelines. Mm-hmm. And if they wasn't in that timeline, you have to remember the same way
history we carry down.
I just say the same way we carry our laws and our history with us, they done the same thing. And they pass their knowledge on to their next generations.
Hold on, how did Ahasuerus know to give Mordecai credit?
Because he wrote a book of remembrance. He had a book. Yeah. Go get the book of remembrance. Was that guy compensated for saving my life from my own people trying to murk me? He said, go get the book of remembrance. He opened the book up. Yeah, there's no account of that guy Mordecai ever being compensated for saving you.
And that was about a year ago.
Yeah. A whole year went past.
What about Ammon in Judas chapter 5? When they said, listen, if you let these people do this and that and come back to their God, what is he talking about? Their books.
Yeah. They're gonna overthrow.
They're gonna overthrow.
And they're gonna keep your laws. They're gonna they're gonna start keeping their own gods and laws and forsake the laws of the king.
And that's why these nations are scared to death. Esau is scared because we finally going back to our book of remembrance, which is the Bible. And coming to realize that we the creators, we the one that started all things trending from the Lord, and everybody else is copying from us. So we know how to what? How to break down everybody else's culture and religion because they all copy from the
Because
original
they all
source.
copy from the same source.
And we know how to piece it together, and we're not biased. We understand different cultures. We'll try to learn different languages: Japanese, Chinese, East Indian, whatever, whatever, this and that.
And we're not saying, and please, like, don't think that we being arrogant or cocky or pompous saying that, oh, we just top it when it comes to stuff. No, we know that this ability is given to, this is what you call a spiritual gift. You only can attain spiritual gifts to be able to connect the dots to the Lord from him. But you get that by keeping his law, statutes, and commandments. That's how what he told you. You keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and he'll give you all things will be added unto you, including the wisdom and knowledge and understanding to help you in this time. So we able to decipher these allegories and these dark sayings and these similitudes because brothers keep the law. We keep the feast days. We fast. Like we do what the Bible say, regardless if we feel some, if it make us feel some type of way, we forego how we feel about it and we do what the Lord say. And you sisters got to learn how to do that too, because y'all always bucking up against the word of the Lord with that I feel. Don't matter how you feel. Just do what the Lord said do.
That's fact. And even with us, me and Blackbeard particularly, we have interest in this type of stuff. We always talk about it. We talk about certain movies and all of this stuff. Cool stuff, and talking about the Irish Island, all of that, King Henry and all of that, Rob the Bruce, and all of that, all these different movies. Yeah,
like it's crazy. Prime example, you said that because like Robert the Bruce, everybody hear about King James, but you don't even know.
You don't even know about.
That's his family,
literally.
Robert the Bruce is the same cat. They got a whole movie about him.
Yeah,
but then before they made his movie, you seen him depicted in the movie Bravehearts. He was the cat that was trying to hook up with
start the coalition and everything.
What was his name? Mel Gibson name in that movie?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I can't remember his name, but you know Mel Gibson played the head dude, but he was a real person. And Robert the Bruce was like 4 generations back, his big cousin or something like that. And these are real live people that they were depicting. And they were fighting against England.
Yeah.
At the time under the wicked ass dude, the Longshank.
Oh yeah, that
Longshank, man. That his name, boy. Longshank. That man was ruthless, man.
Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah. So
hey, look at Vikings.
Yeah.
We talking about Vikings, Ragnar Lothbrok, you know, Ivar and all of that stuff.
Yeah, and after I watched the Last Kingdom.
Oh yeah,
Uther
Bevenberg. Yeah.
Go watch. You go and watch the movie Valhalla.
Yeah, it
same damn people, same shit, but just from a different perspective of somebody else. But it was the same people.
It's like we said with the North and the East, here and there, this and that. While this story is going on, here and there,
because they send word to my brother and such, or my uncle or my cousin and such, and that where he going is gonna be like a month's travel. Take a month to get to this. That's like me walking from here to damn Detroit.
And look what's crazy. That's in Maccabees. What happened with the Maccabee family? Who did he send letters to?
Everybody.
But not just that, the Lacedaemonians.
Oh yeah.
Sparta.
Over there near. Over there with
Sparta.
In
Athens,
Italy and all over there. They was over there. Yeah, with
the Spartans and all of that. They said we found out he was kindred and all of that. So what's happening? Judas Maccabees is having wars, and he's becoming. And remember, in Maccabees,
that's his name. I'm thinking about his name, Hannibal Barca.
Hannibal Barca and all of that. Yeah,
that's where they from.
Remember,
Carthage.
Carthage. Judas Maccabees. Remember, in Maccabees, it shows it. It says his name was world renowned. That means his name was traveling all over. People was passing all over. You think Israelites, and Spartans, and all that? They didn't hear about it. Like, oh shit.
William
you know
Wallace.
how people are. Yeah.
You see his name, how they was showing in the movie, his name was they was in different towns and states, and they was talking about some William Wallace killed 50 men.
And then you know how Jake is, literally. The name passed around is like LeBron and Kobe type of joint, here and there, this and that. But hey, who y'all talk? Who's this legendary dude y'all talk? I want to meet him.
That's what dude said. That's what dude said in the movie. He was look, he's sitting up there as the general on his horse trying to rouse the men up, and they talking about some. The English have too many. If William Wallace was here,
he like what?
He said, I am William Wallace, but you niggas done heard all this stuff about me, and I'm standing here in your face, and you don't even know who I am. But you reverencing me about how if I was here, I'd kill all of England
Not
by
knowing he's
myself.
right there.
I'm right here.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, he'll consume all the English with fire bolts out his Irish, wouldn't he? It was like, yeah, we didn't come to die for these bastards,
Right.
but we'll die for William
Wallace.
Wallace.
Not knowing he right in front of you. Ain't that like your house shot?
See?
They
Same
talk about the
thing.
Messiah, hearing that, this and that. I know he
I'm
was
he.
walking with them the whole time.
Like, I'm him. Who you
The whole
talking about?
time.
It's me.
Yeah, that's our people, man.
Hey,
You
man,
know?
Lord say, man, I'm gonna kill y'all if y'all don't stop doing
Yeah.
this. Israel gonna be like, kill somebody then.
Okay.
Lord be like, what y'all still sitting here for? Didn't I just tell y'all if y'all don't go over there and kill
somebody?
Yeah, we ain't going till you
Yeah,
kill
we ain't
somebody.
okay.
You gotta prove something to us.
Yeah, Acts 5. Ananias lied to Peter. Peter had him drop dead and his wife. Yeah.
And Peter was the coldest next to Yahushua.
God.
That man's damn shadow
Healing people.
was healing people.
Walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
Yeah, y'all just don't know, man. Everybody talking about time machines. Time machines has been around. This is a time machine. This is a time machine. Time machines. Time machines. Everything all these is time machines, man. Take you back as far back as you want to go. Tales of rape, rob, murder, extortion, backdooring cats, right? Rapes, grapes, as they want to call it. Right? You read about
Trail
with like Susanna.
Oh yeah,
with two old elder men plotting to rape her. Like, man, yeah, y'all don't understand. That's why they tell you this is the greatest book ever written is the Bible. It's got every movie genre you could think of in the Bible.
And it's right there. But it's only for Israel. Only we could understand it.
Yeah, y'all see our record. Y'all see Israelites debating and battling every form of Christianity you could think of, and we win every time.
Sure.
Every last one of them come with the same argument, John 3:16. And they misinformed on that. That's like it's just ridiculous, man. No,
that was it with the egg stuff, right? Oh yeah, we still on. Yeah, I think that was it. But you see, we was highlighting. Yeah, you see, we was highlighting with the joint with the all the different coaches. They all had the same egg joint. You're talking about the Jade Emperor.
Yeah, I think that's the back page.
Yeah,
that was it.
That was it. With the Jade Emperor, this and that,
and
China, Japan.
I hadn't even seen that book.
Yeah.
So I want y'all to think I know from different history that the damn Japanese and the Moabites, they into that. They got that theirs, and he said it in there that they cover theirs with diamonds and all that.
Deck it out and brazen and all that. Yeah.
Worshiping the egg because they see the egg as Ishtar. Yeah,
and I studied with the Jade. I studied with the history of the Jade Emperor, and also it tied in with Buddha and all of that stuff. And how the Jade Emperor had like a one eye and all of that. He had power. He had like a cloak and sword and all of this stuff.
And why is y'all damn Buddha a big fat naked dude, man?
Right. Literally. And peep this. I learned about the Jade Emperor from something called manga and anime. So even in the comics, Moab is telling you what's going on. You know? You can't make the Monkey King, all of that Indra, and all of that stuff. Yeah. So you can't make it up. Everything literally ties in together through the spirit. How about Shemel Shah?
It says, for many people, the fun of Easter is to decorate these eggs in creative ways. So what's been made to be this harmonious, fun time, dipping the eggs in the dye and writing out your name. What you don't understand is the symbology of that act itself. They want you to think it's just a fun thing to do to get with the kids. The whole time doing that is in commemoration to some pagan deity.
Yeah, you partaking in witchcraft and
don't even know it
and writing. That's why you decorate here and there. Exactly. You're literally partaking in rituals.
That's witchcraft, man.
That's witchcraft.
You should be put to death.
Remember the Druids? That's how they were. The Druids and all of that stuff with the writings and all of that stuff, and the marks and the different emblems and all of this, the runes. Yeah. Even in the video games, the runes.
Remember we was at the Great Woods Lodge?
Yeah.
Smack Boy was playing that game.
Yeah, and it showed the runes with the symbols.
And all that
stuff. That's what it is. And guess what?
Yeah.
With the runes and the word that they put in, the magi. Yeah, that's magic.
Yeah.
the rules and the certain words that you put them in a certain sequence, you're literally creating
Unlocking dimensions
yeah
and portals and all.
and elements,
In the
witchcraft
game,
in the
remember,
game.
he had to
Yeah, he
line
had
the
to mix it
rooms
up
up,
and all of that.
and then the dude name was, he had the troll guard the door, and he was like, oh, looks more valuable than what old Bandy Shanks is paying me. He tricked him to walk away, and then he had to line the rooms up, and they were showing letters that damn they looked like they were Hebrew or
right.
Phoenician,
It was
right?
codes.
You know what I'm saying?
That
And
was
then
witchcraft.
that door opened up, and all the gold and everything was in there, but the fat God dude was sitting in there, and he had to fight him.
Yeah, that's like there's this video game called damn, yeah, it was like a dragon adventure game, and you had to go through the game. And you get certain rooms. If you collect certain rooms, you'll get the power of water, fire, lightning, all of this stuff. Yeah, this. So even in video games, TVs, comics, movies, whatever, there's edification in all aspects. The Lord let you watch these things so you can tie it all together in due time. And it's about us. You know?
Says they are also given to friends and loved ones as presents and have come to represent a token of friendship. Various traditional games are played with the Easter egg, such as the annual egg hunt. Modern tradition has the Easter bunny hiding the eggs. Contests are also held among children to find the maximum number of eggs, and in some, if not most communities, the local Easter egg hunt is usually a very large event where thousands of people participate while the fun of the Easter event continues. Sadly, again, no one questions where this tradition started or why.
Mm-hmm. And if you notice, they said like treasures and presents and tokens of gifts, same as like Christmas.
Right? Historical records prove that there is a medieval story told to children that rabbits, another fertility symbol, and laid eggs in the grass. Christians in southern Germany added the practice of hiding eggs in difficult to reach places. They went as far as put obstacles before the hidden spots. The obstacles were meant to represent the stations of the cross or the trails of Jesus Christ on the way to crucifixion. A favorite hiding place was among the thorns, against symbolizing the crowns of the thorns that were placed on the head of Yahushua.
So what is that also showing you? They having you doing an Easter hunt. You running, you hunting for your death. You jumping over different places here and there, this and that for a damn egg. You gonna kill yourself.
And they saying that was designed to represent the walk of death.
Yeah.
Of Yahushua.
Yeah,
the route he
Garden of
took
Gethsemane
to go get that's crazy, man. See?
And people don't notice.
Yeah. You teach and pass this stuff on to your kids.
Yeah.
Another symbol is the rolling of Easter eggs. This may have Roman roots. However, early Christians assumed the symbolism of the rolling of the egg as the rolling of the rock away from the entrance of Christ's tomb.
Now hold on. Matthew 28 and verse 1.
Y'all just take every damn thing of Israel
and remixed it live. So they talk about the trail of thorns and all of this stuff, and like you said with the rock, right? Matthew 28 and verse 1.
His tomb.
Yeah, that guarded his tomb.
Yeah, rolling of the egg is the representation of when the angel rolled the tomb back.
Right.
The boulder back from the tomb.
Matthew
to show
28.
Mary Magdalene and Christ's mom that he wasn't there.
Yeah, Matthew 28 and verse number 2.
Right. It says, and behold, there was a great earthquake, for the angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat upon it.
It ain't saying nothing about no damn thing. Right. It ain't saying nothing about no damn eggs.
Nowhere. But that's them taking truth and mixing lies with the truth. That's how the confusion started. Yeah. Because
it sounds similar. You're like, damn, I know this story.
You draw it into the truth, but then they water it down. Right? Because the truth is a harsh thing to swallow to some people. So they mix in they little witchcraft to water it down and make it easy for you to digest it. Yeah, that's crazy.
Once again, we're not making this up.
Yeah. The time is fulfilled, and the kingdom of God is at hand. Represent ye and believe the gospel, man.
See?
That's
Straight
what y'all
like that.
better do.
Literally. Yeah.
So,
So, it's two.
we started doing this.
Damn.
10 o'clock.
10.
Look at December.
Oh yeah. Right there. And look, who's that? Who's right there?
The Roth.
The Rothschild. And remember with the book when he was talking about with the Roth? Like the red shield?
Fargo.
Yeah, the red shield. The Rothschild was speaking about the red shield. And the red for Esau. Yeah, King, that's a mighty book. You know?
Man.
Yeah, I'll send a link because I'm telling you, his book. Yeah, this book right here. Look, we got the one with Christmas. Nimrod.
Yep.
Semiramis.
That's supposed to be Mary and Yahushua.
Yep. Yeah. Look, even this one, Saint Nicholas supposed to be black.
Satan called.
Yeah. He's supposed to be black right here.
Yeah, the real Saint.
Yeah,
Nicholas.
the original one.
Yep.
Yeah, he has spiritual power too. So they really lied to us, man.
That's why it was essential for them to burn everything up.
And then the images
and kept what they thought was going to help them rebuild. Right? Not knowing that to save any of it left trace remnants of the truth. Because what we got today is what they thought would keep you going astray. That's why we have to tell people, if the white man wrote this book, then why you got
him about
books
to get
in here about
1,000
killing
times.
him, his children,
judgment and everything,
all of that. He took out what he thought was going to do something to us, but you left things in here that still show us that you don't belong. You should have took all the Deuteronomy out of it.
Literally.
You know what I'm saying? That's what you should have did if you was really trying to hide something. You should, because Deuteronomy 28 by itself is a cut to whatever you're trying to say or do. That alone let us know. He said only the Israelites would be suffering these curses.
Yeah, family, there's more. There's,
and you got all people around the world that's suffering like that. Yeah, but no, they're suffering because their own people are keeping all the riches to themselves. Any damn nation of white people in there, if you ain't living the best life, your people is cheating you out of your kingdom, man. You like the bastard child of a king.
Right. Trailer park trash. Right.
The
bastard, right. Nobody want to claim you, right.
You the bastard of the king,
you ashamed
man.
to them. Yeah. You ashamed to them.
Yeah. That's how
they say you a failure.
That's how what's his name was doing David, his father.
Cool.
What the hell? What's David's father name?
Jesse.
That's how he was doing King David when he was little.
He was like, stay in the back.
Yeah,
stay in
keep
the back.
him out of sight. He's an embarrassment to the family. I'm ashamed of him and all that.
The rest of your brothers on the battlefield as warriors. You just with the sheep.
Yeah. See, that's because people don't understand. There's no such thing as, with Israelites, there's no such thing as a child being born out of wedlock. There's no such thing as a bastard child. You are your father's child. All right? And when a man lay down with a woman and a child come as a result of that, that's not out of wedlock. That man is married to that woman now. So the thought of saying, oh, he is a bastard child, he was born out of wedlock. No, he wasn't. As soon as they laid down with each other and got it popping, she became his wife. And 9-10 months later came a baby. So he wasn't born out of wedlock. And that's according to biblical historical facts from the Lord. But y'all like to listen to what Esau say.
We got one more. Just tying in with Diana before we close out. Acts chapter 19 and verse number 23 to 29. So this tying in with Diana, if y'all can still see on the screen.
Acts 19 and 23?
Yeah, 29.
And the same time there arose no small stir about the way.
And we can even like Acts 18 talking about Apollos, where he get his name from. Apollo, speaking about the sun god, right? So even their names and all of that stuff. But we, just Easter and all of that. But we didn't even get to Virgin Mary, But you see how so much just all day you can go with this,
It's like y'all literally watching a study session of how we study.
Right.
We putting lessons together, and this is what it looked like.
God.
So
going this and that, tying this and that,
jumping
back
from
and forth.
different books, you know what I'm saying? Highlighting, taking notes.
Precept of this.
Yeah. It says you want 21 first, right?
23.
Started 23.
Matter of fact, 21.
This is Acts 19 and 21. After these things were ended, Paul proposed in the spirit when he had passed through Macedonia and Achaia.
Yeah, Macedonia, the Greeks, right? The Greek names and land, all right?
To go to Jerusalem, saying, after I have been there, I must also see Rome.
So look at the transition from the Macedonia to Rome, right? Same as their customs of the Greeks and the Romans, right? So it's also showing you his the routes that he's taking. And it's crazy. Paul is like, he's a connector of the Lord. The Lord say he's going to be a chosen vessel. He's going to have to suffer through many things. But it's traveling. He was able to connect the bridge.
Yeah, he told him,
different customs.
You right back to the same people you was killing.
Literally. Paul was able to connect different customs and understand different languages and heritage and all of this stuff.
Verse 22. So he sent into Macedonia 2 of them that ministered unto him, Timotheus and Erastus. But he himself stayed in Asia for a season.
In Asia? Where the Lord talk about the Asians and all of that stuff, Japanese and the Chinese, that area around there, you see how everything is like is around each other. Their customs.
And it started off telling you Macedonia is the Greeks. So that's why when you go into Apocrypha and you go into the book of Judah, 5, chapter 5, and I think it started like 16 on down. That's showing you how the person in there who was saying to his chief, don't go messing with them Israelites if they keeping the laws of their God, because we'll become a reproach to the world. So it's just showing you the close proximity. He walked.
Location.
He just said he walked out of Macedonia into Asia.
Went to Asia, right?
And why he didn't get on a boat?
You see that?
Why he didn't take a plane?
And you know what's crazy? Remember Alexander and the 4 generals.
Yes.
How he split it up. North, south, east, and all of that stuff. So it's all close proximity.
Yeah. Esau and tamper with the maps too. He got you thinking everything is all disproportionate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's closer than what you think. Even remember you were talking about with the planes?
With the flight,
yeah, with the flight, and they got to circle around and cause confusion.
That's to confuse you into thinking your flight.
Right.
When you look at a real map,
you have to go straight there.
Straight one. The fastest route to any destination is a straight line. That's a part of his confusion, man. And at the same time, there arose no small stir about the way. For a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, which made silver shrines for Diana.
See, Demetrius made silver shrines for Diana.
That's
what are you talking about? Diana is right
here. Yeah, he making pagan symbols and stuff like that.
Right, he making the shrines. She's right there.
Silver shrines for Diana brought no small gain unto the craftsmen, whom he called together with the workmen of the occupation, and said, Sirs, ye know that by this craft we have our wealth.
Remember?
They want to live by their lives and their deceit and all that, man.
Remember in Jeremiah? We gonna serve Semiramis and here and there, this and that, the Queen of Heaven, and we good, we getting blessed. Man, look, man.
Moreover, ye see and hear that not alone at Ephesus, but almost throughout all Asia, this Paul has persuaded and turned away much people. Man, they talking trap, man.
This nigga,
Paul,
man. He gonna try to convert, right?
Yeah, they like, man.
This nigga
has persuaded and turned away much people, saying that they be no gods, which are made of hands.
See? And I think about it. He's a willing servant of Diana,
Con.
who's a pagan goddess.
So he gonna fight and argue about him.
Yeah.
Huh?
And think about it, like Olympus and all of this stuff. If you watch like all those shows with Zeus, Olympus, Hades, and all of that, they got their devoted servants that praise to them only. They'll carry the emblem. Like this guy was carrying the emblem of Zeus, Antiochus, thinking that he was God himself. He thought he was Zeus on the earth himself. So for Paul to convert these Israelites from their heathen customs of them serving these other pagan custom lying demon demonic gods and goddesses, they like, bro, we got to stop this dude. Because remember, Athens, Sparta, all these close proximity, they live and die by these type of customs. And they scared you. They like, you betray Zeus. As soon as you walk out the damn door, lightning bolt gonna strike your ass. Yeah.
So that not only this our craft is in danger to be set at naught, but also that the temple of the great goddess Diana should be despised and her magnificence should be destroyed, whom all Asia and the world worship.
That's the key. So what is going on around that time? They're all following Diana. And who's that? That's the mother worship, Ishtar. It said all the world worship. That's why we telling people about Easter, and they getting mad as hell. You motherfucking nigga can't tell me this and that. Why? Because everybody else is keeping Easter. And we the bad guy.
And in our time, she a man now.
Yeah, now she a man. Jesus. Right. They keep changing it. Entertain. Once you understand the connection, you can see how they keep switching around. Like the books you have with the Edomites, Janus here and there, this and that, Bacchus and all of that. I didn't even know that with the Janus. I'm like, God damn. So they keep changing it. That's why once you get these type of books and line up with the Bible, you're like, damn. You know? And then Bacchus, Mithra, Horus, all of this stuff. So the whole world was worshiping her.
Same way they do it, same way it was done for Borgia.
Cesare Borgia.
Right.
And they got the balance, the male and the female.
And when they heard these sayings, they were full of wrath and cried out, saying, "Great is Diana of the Ephesians."
You see? Now, what church was Paul writing to? The church of Ephesus.
Man.
What was one of their problems? They was trying to follow Diana. Yeah.
I was going to say pagan worship and idolatry. Them and who else was it that was going way the hell up?
Corinth.
Corinth.
Man,
yeah. Verse 29. And the whole city was filled with confusion, and having caught Gaius.
Now, hold on. Who's Gaius? Because they talk about
he was one of the he was like a Caesar type emperor's dude or something.
Yeah, but not just that. Yeah. Gaius also ties in like Gaia. Gaius and Gaia. Gaia is the female equivalent of Gaius. The name itself. So even knowing the names, you understand the names, the male and the female, and who they're getting it from. The goddesses and the gods and all of that stuff. Like the look, I'm gonna show you right here real quick. What's this show? Son of Zeus. Even in Kratos, in Spartacus, and also in this joint. Look, see? This is the character they call Gaia in the show Son of Zeus. Mother goddess. That's what they call her. Family tree, Earth.
Damn Thundercat.
Yeah. And look, the family tree, Zeus. Look, all of this. Zeus and the family tree. They literally created a whole custom. Yeah.
And the thing they tell you in the name, Greek myth. Mythical means fantasy. They ain't real.
Yeah. See?
None of y'all gods are real. That's why even by y'all own admission, y'all call them mythology. Myths.
Literally. And then look what's crazy. Even in that, let me see. The Greek pantheon.
Y'all worshiping myths like y'all off drugs hallucinating. The Arabics. We just gonna leave it at the
Yo.
fact y'all following Esau.
And look what they did. They look, the Pantheon, the 12 Olympians. Where they get that from? The 12 tribes. See? Zeus, Hela, Poseidon, Hades, Demeter, Athena, Ares, Aphrodite, Hephaestus, Apollos. You see, like an act. Well, Apollo. Name Apollo. Artemis, like we was talking about with Diana, Artemis.
Yeah.
You see?
With the bow.
Yeah, with the bow. And Dionysus.
Dionysus.
See? And look what he got in his hand.
Bacchus.
Yeah, that's him. Look what he got in his hand.
What the hell is that?
That's wine.
Wine. Yeah, he got grapes.
Yeah, that's the grape.
He got a grapevine in his hand.
God.
A pitcher of wine, man.
Esau, you finished, man. It's over. We know who you are.
This is First Maccabees chapter 12, verse 20. It says, Arius, king of the Lacedaemonians, to Onias the high priest, greeting. It is found in writing that the Lacedaemonians and Jews are brethren, and that they are of the stock of Abraham.
God.
And that's the 300.
Yeah, that's the Spartan.
Right? So I want that chapter. Is it 30? Second Maccabees.
Which one?
I think it's 5.
With Esau and the Arabs?
Yeah.
First Maccabees 5. And like 43.
What, 39.
Yeah. You said like 39?
Yeah, 39.
Wait, with the Arabians? When
Yeah, he called the Arabians.
Yeah.
First Maccabees is 3.
No, it's 39. Yeah, First Maccabees chapter 5.
Yeah, 39.
Yeah, 39.
So this started 38. So Judah sent men to Espy to espy the host, who brought him word, saying, all the heathen that be round about us are assembled unto them, even a very great host. He hath also hired the Arabians
Right.
to help them, and they have pitched their tents beyond the brook, ready to come and fight against thee upon Judas. Upon this, Judas went to meet them. So you gotta go to verse 1 and tell you, when the nations round about heard that the altar was built and the sanctuary renewed as before, it displeased them very much. Wherefore they thought to destroy the generation of Jacob that was among them. And thereupon they began to slay and destroy the people. Then Judas fought against the children of Esau in Idumea at Arabatim, because they besieged Israel, and he gave them a great overthrow and abated their courage and took their spoils. So he beat the hell out of the white man.
God.
And took his merch from him. And the white man ran and got the Arabs to come help him. Esau went and got his big uncle.
Yeah, literally in Genesis.
Yeah, you want to read back in Genesis. You'll find out.
And look who mad. German anarchist. Yeah, calling us monkey. Why you mad?
Yeah, because the truth hurt.
Yeah.
The truth hurt.
Uh-huh. You bastard.
Goddamn.
Why you mad now? Right.
Hey, we didn't write the book. Get mad at your ancestors. They the ones told the truth about y'all dusty ass.
Yeah, Vikings and all of that, Odin and all of this stuff. Why you mad now?
He gonna call and report us out.
Hey, get the hell out of here, man. We teaching the word of God, damn devil.
You mad?
Calling us monkey. Look, he pressed. Look,
ancestors
1,000 times.
Ancestor was beating y'all ass, so you ran and got the Arabs to try to help you.
The hell out of here.
Hell no.
Don't get mad at us. We teaching God's word. We just talking about Easter. What you mad for?
Because they try to make it seem like Esau is the Arabs.
Right.
No, nigga.
We know what
Arabs and Esau is two different nations of people.
Hey,
man.
Psalms 83.
God damn it, come on.
You know, the house of Edom and the house of Ishmael.
Both of y'all got your ass whooped. It ain't our fault.
Y'all didn't get the covenant.
Esau is our uncle. Okay. Esau is our uncle. And so is
Ishmael.
Ishmael our uncle. So both our uncles got that ass whooped.
And why you mad?
Going against the family. What you mad for?
The hell you mad for? Especially Ishmael.
Y'all
you got 12 princes. You got your land. You got your oil. You got your money, your resources.
Esau, you got
Esau, what you mad for?
This your whole kingdom.
Right, literally.
And you
We
living
still in
it
your
up.
hands. Dusty bastard. The hell you mad for? Oh, you could just press yeah. The hell you mad for?
Yeah, like
Call us
they was saying, that's the problem. Like y'all get mad because we bringing out history that y'all ancestors wrote. You mad because we know how to read? Or y'all be lying to about niggas didn't know how to read? We did. We read Hebrew.
Right.
We didn't know how to read y'all stinking handwriting and
We
language.
taught you how to read.
That's another one of these lies they got floating around tomorrow. When they came over here, slaves, they couldn't read or write. You a damn lie. Because according to this right here, Negro,
yeah, we had everything.
When they found us, they found kings, priests, princes, governors, generals, secretaries, treasurers, revenue agents, judges, architects, engineers, doctors, historians, language interpreters,
That mean we spoke
mathematicians.
multiple languages.
I mean, we spoke more than one language. Jewelers, sculptors, right? Masons, carpenters, painters of the arts, goldsmith, leather workers, potters, armorers, saddlers, blacksmith, agricultural, etc., etc. That's why y'all had put us in slavery, because we had everything to build a kingdom.
Yeah, we're the kingdom.
Living in a damn rock somewhere.
That's in Romans, where he said the kingdom of heaven is taken away with violence. Who's the kingdom? It's us. The Lord even said it in Luke. The kingdom of heaven within us. We're a one-man nation type of kingdom. We build every damn thing.
Everything you just read there is how you stabilize a nation of people.
Right.
Economically. That's why everybody wanted us in slavery, because the
world
was dumb. Everybody was dumb as hell.
Stupid.
Until we showed up. You want to try to make it like the French and all that? Negro, we was in there too.
And even you talking about with the Germans and all of that stuff, you're not even the original Germans. Right. And tying even with the Vikings, you're not even the original Vikings. We were. Ragnar Lothbrok, Ivan the Terrible, Barca, all of that. That was us.
Well, you crazy.
Even King Arthur, that was us. He was black. That's why they called him the Knights.
Yeah, his story.
Story.
Y'all been telling y'all story. Now the truth is being revealed, and y'all mad.
Now you mad. Corner's monkey. You must be crazy. You know?
You more close to a monkey than me.
You damn lips. Y'all the ones and all that tails.
Right. Y'all the ones with them
thin chimpanzee
ass lips.
Be trying to hide it.
Watch your mouth. That's why your ass going in chains. Thus say the Lord, thus say the Holy Bible.
Sure about check out shot. Because we teaching them.
They just blew us off on this
one. God. Oh man. Well, all praise y'all about Shimei Shah.
We done our job.
God is good. Look, see? Jews, monkey Jews, and this and that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Guess what? Yeah. At least you telling the truth. At least you acknowledging that we are the real Jews.
Yeah, devil.
Go watch your ancestors in action. It's a movie called Quest for Fire.
Oh yeah.
Go watch your real. Go watch your real lineage, where you come from.
Like Job 30.
Goddamn.
Briars and scratching backs and all of that.
They want to kill somebody for putting
mud
water
pie and everything. Yeah, one of your Edomites took a shower the first time. He couldn't believe it. They almost stoned him to death. Moab was like, nigga, you got to take a shower.
They taught him how to bath.
Literally.
When your rest of your little Viking ass family came along, they ain't even recognize them. Like, damn, these people that cleaned you up,
huh? Hell, you mad at us?
The thing is that stuff don't trigger us like it did our ancestors. Yeah. We don't care. You call us niggas, call us all you want. We know the end results. Your ass going to slavery, we're gonna so prepare your back for bone stripping.
Psalms 2 and 8. God damn it.
Calling us niggas and coons and all that. That don't bother our generation.
Y'all suffering now too. We was already at the bottom.
Yeah.
Now we're moving on up.
You need to find something new to say to us to get under our skin. That don't work no more. Because I can show you in the Bible that's an honor to call me a nigga. Acts 13 and 1.
And 11 and 26.
You'll find out that we've been being called niggers because of our skin color, dumbass. Nigga just means Latinly, it means negro, which means black. So you don't hurt our feelings with that shit. You know? Now go home and go postal on your whole family and then jump off the roof of a building. Weak asses. One stronger than the other. We know. Apple juice.
God. add some ginger tea.
I let my dog on ice melt. I don't know, boy. Apple juice be busting when it's on
Yeah,
ice.
with the ice.
Well, y'all, hey, man.
God.
We edified anybody out there. Okay, we did our job, and Esau, you mad? We did our job.
God.
Okay.
So
and thanks for tuning in.
right.
All right.
Being a good supporter.
Hopefully you got edified too. Now go to your great granddaddy if he's still alive and tell him why he lied to you.
And ask about Odin too. Because Odin, they copy Odin from the Most High.
See, we be trying to take up for y'all a little bit too, because y'all been lied to too, man. Y'all upper echelon. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Edomite race, the big dogs.
They trick you.
They treat y'all just like they treat us.
Yeah, Jeremiah 16:19.
So, I mean, come on, man. We all in the same boat, man. We all human. We all bleed. Well, you ain't human because you ain't got no hue.
You ain't got no
well, you all mankind. You know what I'm saying?
You a kind of man.
You kind of a man. And that's only because you half damn orangutan.
Yeah, half devil. Full devil.
Full devil, half orangutan.
Half orangutan. Praise Yahweh Shem Shai. You know, beautiful Passover. Just wanted to do a quick bash. Me and Black Bear, HY Chicago against Easter. You know,
just be looking for more. We got our podcast coming up now.
So some of that merch.
It's going down.
Good. Call me a shot. God.
Praise.
Man, what the hell you mad for? Man? What the hell out of here, man? You gonna call us monkeys like that's